Hello everyone, good evening all. Welcome to B.Singh Ese's GATE 2023 solutions based on memory. I hope that you all might have done very well in this GATE examination, and I pray God that you all get good score and good ranks. With this wishes, I start the solutions of control system. Let's take up the first question of control system, wherein open loop transfer function of a system is given. Question is to find the phase crossover frequency of the system. Say phase crossover frequency of the system is the frequency where the phase of the system becomes minus 180 degree. There are 4 methods to find phase crossover frequency. 4 methods. Method 1, by equating the phase of this system to minus 180 degree. Method 2, by rationalizing this transfer function, separating that into real and imaginary part and setting the imaginary part to 0. Method 3, by obtaining the Routh array and equating s power 1 rho to 0 and achieving k from that, substituting that k in s square rho and solving the roots of that auxiliary polynomial, will get the phase crossover frequency. And the fourth method, which is a limited addition method, you can form the characteristic equation and you can pick only those terms in the characteristic equation of odd powers of s and replace s with a j omega in them and equate that all those odd powers of s to 0, you will get phase crossover frequency. These are the 4 methods to find phase crossover frequency, but this is standard third order system. It's a very well known and very familiar question. It is phase crossover frequency of standard third order system 1 by root T1 T2. You might have done it many times. I taught you 4 methods. I told you them just now. But it's a standard third order system whose phase crossover frequency becomes 1 upon root T1 T2. Moving to the next question, block diagram representation is given. If y is equal to g1 r plus g2 r, g1 into r plus g2 into d, find the value of g1 and g2. Options aren't available. G1 and G2 will be, I don't know what kind of options were made. Since options are not available, I tried to provide the values of G1 and G2 to you. Right. Say while finding y by r, we consider d to be 0 because external variables, input variables are independent variables. So using superposition property to find y by r, d 0, to find y by d, r 0. Right. If d is 0, then to this, these two will be feedback. 2 adders can be merged into 1. Then feedback will be h minus 1. So transfer function is g by 1 plus g into h minus 1. Now when I find y by d, then r will be 0. When r is 0, when this is feedback, this will also be feedback because now this adder can be merged with this when r is 0. Then also the same feedback it is. So d will now take the place of r. So y by d will also have g by 1 plus g into h minus 1. So this is g1 according to this expression and this is g2 according to this expression. So g1 and g2, they are same in their values and that value being g by 1 plus g into h minus 1. So due to lack of options, what exactly was asked in the question, we are not able to provide that, but according to my solution, this is what the values have to be. Next question, closed loop transfer function, closed loop system is given in the form of block diagram. Question is to find the steady state error of this system for velocity input, ramp input. Input is alpha t ut, whose Laplace transform is alpha upon s square. This system has got unity feedback, hence we can take this open loop transfer function directly to find steady state error, and this is type 1 system. Steady state error of a type 1 system for unit parabolic input will be 1 by kV, but steady state error of a type 1 system for unit ramp input will be 1 by kV, since it is ramp of amplitude A, alpha by kV. What is kV? DC gain of this system. DC gain of this system can be obtained by writing this into time constant form. Right, this is DC gain, or we can also use the formula of kV. So how much is this? Alpha by k by 2 alpha by k. D is the answer to the question. In this question, board plot of a system is given. Question is to find the sum of a plus b plus c. What is a? The number of finite zeros this system has. What is b? The number of poles at origin called as type of the system. What is c? The number of finite poles the system has. See, we all know that initial slope of the board plot indicates the type of the system. If the initial slope is minus 20, it means it's a type 1 system. Minus 40, type 2 system. Minus 60, type 3 system. Plus 60, 3 zeros at origin. Right. So this system has got one pole at origin. Type 1 system, B is equal to 1. At frequency omega 1, whose value unknown, this slope is changing from minus 20 dB per decade to 0 dB per decade. Slope of an horizontal line, 0. Though it is not written, but we know that. So slope can become less negative due to 0 by value 20, 1, 0. So at this corner frequency, this system has a 0. So A is equal to 1. At this corner frequency omega 2, slope is becoming more negative from 0 to minus 40. The amount of change of slope is 40. One pole can contribute a slope of 20. If it is two poles, then only we get a contribution of 40. So this corner frequency corresponds to two poles. This system has got two finite poles. C is equal to 2. So A plus B plus C is equal to 4. So these are the questions that are available. Probably there may be more number of questions, but this is what, because it's memory based, this is what we can acquire so far. So it's easy, and I expect that you all might have done very well. With this, I close this session. The next subject will be taken by my colleague, and wish you all the best for your future perspectives. God bless.
नमस्कार दोस्तों, उम्मीद है आप सभी का पेपर बहुत अच्छा हुआ होगा। सो ईडीसी के सॉल्यूशंस के साथ मैं सुनील कुमार तिवारी और मेरे साथ हैं कामेश सर। सो हम लोग क्विकली आपके साथ ईडीसी के जो भी 5 क्वेश्चंस हमें मिले हुए हैं उन 5 क्वेश्चंस के सॉल्यूशन देख लेते हैं। सो दिस इज द फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन। बड़ा स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड क्वेश्चन पूछे गए हैं। इन अ सेमीकंडक्टर फर्मी लेवल लाइज इनसाइड द कंडक्शन बैंड, देन द सेमीकंडक्टर इज नोन एज। सो इफ फर्मी लेवल इज लाइंग डीप इनटू द कंडक्शन बैंड, इट मींस इट इज एन टाइप सेमीकंडक्टर, बट सिंस इट इज इन द कंडक्शन बैंड, so it is degenerate n type semiconductor. So the answer for this question will be degenerate n type semiconductor. That is given in option A. So right choice for this question is given by option A. Second question.
So second question is having some calculation. Okay, so we are going to calculate it. So in an extrinsic semiconductor, the whole concentration is 1.5 into Ni. So whole concentration is given 1.5 times of Ni. Okay, and the intrinsic carrier concentration is also given 1 into 10 to the power 10 per centimeter cube. They are asked the ratio of electron to hole mobility. Electron to hole mobility हमें इसमें क्वेश्चन में निकालना था, इसकी वैल्यू. Provided condition is given that electron drift current and holes drift current is same. तो हमें देखना है क्या कि इलेक्ट्रॉन का और होल्स का ड्रिफ्ट करंट को सेम करने के बाद म्यू एन और म्यू पी का जो रेशियो आएगा वो हमें कैलकुलेट करना है. ये बहुत सिंपल क्वेश्चन है. ठीक है, तो आपको पता है कि होल्स की ड्रिफ्ट करंट की इक्वेशन होगी पी क्यू म्यू पी इंटू इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड इंटू क्रॉस सेक्शन एरिया ए, एंड इलेक्ट्रॉन ड्रिफ्ट करंट का इक्वेशन होगा एन क्यू म्यू एन इलेक्ट्रॉन मोबिलिटी इंटू इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड इंटू एरिया. तो देखो दोनों साइड इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड सेम है, एरिया सेम है, क्यू सेम है, कैंसिल आउट हो जाएगा आपका. तो इधर आएगा लेफ्ट साइड पी म्यू पी इक्वल टू एन टाइम्स ऑफ म्यू एन. ओके, हमें म्यू एन अपॉन म्यू पी निकालना है आपको. तो डेफिनेटली यहां से क्या आएगा म्यू एन अपॉन म्यू पी, ये रेशियो ले लिया हमने, म्यू एन डिवाइडेड बाई म्यू पी. तो राइट साइड आ जाएगा आपका पी बाई एन. ओके, पी इज गिवन, हाउ मच पी इज गिवन 1.5 टाइम्स ऑफ एन आई, 1.5 टाइम्स ऑफ एन आई. और नीचे हमें डिनोमिनेटर में एन की वैल्यू लिखना है. अब एन की वैल्यू कैसे निकालेंगे, पी की वैल्यू गिवन है तो मास एक्शन लॉ क्या बोलता है, एन इंटू पी इक्वल टू एन आई स्क्वायर. तो यहां से इलेक्ट्रॉन का कॉन्सेंट्रेशन क्या आएगा, एन आई स्क्वायर डिवाइड बाई होल्स का कॉन्सेंट्रेशन. ओके, सो होल्स का कॉन्सेंट्रेशन गिवन है एन आई स्क्वायर डिवाइड बाई होल्स कॉन्सेंट्रेशन रखूंगा 1.5 एन आई. तो ये कितना आ जाएगा, एन आई से एन आई कैंसिल होगा, दैट इज एन आई अपॉन 1.5. तो ये वैल्यू आ गई आपके इलेक्ट्रॉन कॉन्सेंट्रेशन की. अब मैं इस इलेक्ट्रॉन कॉन्सेंट्रेशन को यहाँ पुट कर देता हूँ, एन आई डिवाइडेड बाई 1.5. अब देखो यहाँ से एन आई से एन आई कैंसिल हो जाएगा आपका. अगर एन आई से एन आई जैसे कैंसिल होगा आपका तो आपका आंसर क्या आ जाएगा, एन आई कैंसिल 1.5 का स्क्वायर, और 1.5 स्क्वायर इज 2.25 एग्जैक्टली. तो अब ये एनईटी क्वेश्चन है, तो 2.25 इज द रेशियो ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन मोबिलिटी एंड होल्स मोबिलिटी.
Next question. In a semiconductor device, the Fermi energy level is 0.35 electron volt above the valence band. So let us suppose this is your band diagram. So it is a valence band and it is conduction band, and Fermi level is this. So according to question, it is EF minus EB is given to us, that is 0.35 electron volt. पहले क्वेश्चन पूरा पढ़ते हैं, फिर कुछ बातें यहां करना जरूरी है. द इफेक्टिव डेंसिटी ऑफ स्टेट्स इन द बैलेंस बैंड एट T इक्वल टू 300 केल्विन इज गिवन दिस मच पर सेंटीमीटर क्यूब. ये पर सेंटीमीटर क्यूब होना चाहिए. द थर्मल इक्विलिब्रियम होल कंसंट्रेशन in silicon at 400 Kelvin. He is wanting to ask a whole concentration at 400 Kelvin. Nothing is mentioned about this value कि ये किस टेम्परेचर पर है. मैं मान लेता हूं कि ये 400 केल्विन पर दिया हुआ है. अभी तक जो डेटा दिया हुआ है इससे हम लोग यही मान करके चल रहे हैं कि दिस वैल्यू इज गिवन एट 400 केल्विन और उसके अकॉर्डिंग कैलकुलेशन कर रहे हैं. क्योंकि यहाँ फुल स्टॉप लग गया, ये पूछ रहा है कि इस वैल्यू को ये जब EF और EB का डिफरेंस है तो आपको होल कंसंट्रेशन निकालना है, दैट टू 400 केल्विन पर. लेकिन इसके साथ कुछ और चीजें भी आपको दी हुई हैं. 300 केल्विन पर आपको KT की वैल्यू दी हुई है. सो लेट अस ट्राई टू सॉल्व दिस क्वेश्चन. थोड़ा सा इस क्वेश्चन में क्योंकि एनडीटी है तो कुछ कैलकुलेशन में आपको ध्यान देना है. KT इज इक्वल टू 0.026 इलेक्ट्रॉन वोल्ट. ये वैल्यू अगर दी हुई है तो इसको यूज करके ही आप KT की वैल्यू एट 400 केल्विन निकालें. मैं इसे मान लेता हूं कि इट इज VT1 एंड ये KT1 है, ठीक, इलेक्ट्रॉन वोल्ट में. तो VT1 अपॉन VT2 इज इक्वल टू T1 अपॉन T2. यू नो इट वेरी वेल. सो यहां से BT2 की वैल्यू आ जाएगी, BT2 is equal to T2 upon T1 into VT1, right? So BT2, T2 is 400 upon T1 is 300 into 0.026. So this comes out as VT2. यहां डेसिमल के कितने प्लेसेस तक निकालना है ये हम लोगों को नहीं पता है और उससे आंसर में ह्यूज वेरिएशन आ रहा है. तो मैं जो आंसर आपको दे रहा हूं वो डेसिमल के 0.03466 इलेक्ट्रॉन वोल्ट. मैं मान रहा हूं कि बीटी को इलेक्ट्रॉन वोल्ट में रख रहे हैं हम लोग, वोल्ट में नहीं रख रहे हैं क्योंकि इलेक्ट्रॉन वोल्ट में ही हमें जरूरत. बेसिकली इट इज KT इन इलेक्ट्रॉन वोल्ट, ठीक. अब इस वैल्यू के साथ आप होल कंसंट्रेशन निकालिए, वो भी 400 केल्विन पर. उसके अलावा Nb इज गिवन एट 300 केल्विन. डेंसिटी ऑफ स्टेट्स इज गिवन एट 300 केल्विन. सो Nb इज 1 into 10 to the power 19 per centimeter cube. We want to calculate at 400 Kelvin. हम सभी जानते हैं कि NB इज डायरेक्टली प्रोपोर्शनल टू T टू द पावर 3/2। बाकी सारे पैरामीटर MP स्टार एटसेट्रा मैं कांस्टेंट मान ले रहा हूं। सो यहां से हमारे पास आ जाएगा NB2 अपॉन NB1 इज इक्वल टू T2 अपॉन T1 टू द पावर 3/2। सो यहां से NB2 दैट इज इक्वल टू T2 अपॉन T1 इंटू NB1। सो T2 इज 400 जिस पर हमें निकालना है, कैलकुलेट करना है, इंटू 300 इंटू 1 इंटू 10 टू द पावर 19। सो NB2 इज इक्वल टू, सर इसका कैलकुलेशन कितना है? NB2 इज इक्वल टू 1.5396 इंटू 10 टू द पावर 19 per centimeter cube. This is your NB at 400 Kelvin. Now you know that for whole concentration we have direct relationship. P is equal to NB e to the power minus EF minus EV upon KT. Right? This KT is KT2 at 400 Kelvin. This NB is NB2 at 400 Kelvin. 1.5396 into 10 to the power 19 e to the power minus, this value is given 0.35 electron volt upon 0.0, we have calculated it, 0.03466 electron volt. Electron volt cancel out. If you solve this, it comes out as 63.36 into 10 to the power 13। 10 to the power 13 के टर्म में आपसे पूछा हुआ है, तो आपका आंसर इस क्वेश्चन के लिए 63.36 हो जाएगा। आप ऐसा करेंगे, लेकिन इस क्वेश्चन में अब रेंज कितनी दी हुई है उसके हिसाब से आंसर बहुत वेरिएबल हो जाएगा। जैसे एक छोटा सा चेंज मैं करूं कि मैं 0.3466 जो है KT2 की वैल्यू 0.03466, इसको हम लोग लिख सकते हैं 0.035, राइट? बहुत सिंपल सा अप्रोक्सीमेशन है, लेकिन इसके साथ आंसर में ह्यूज वेरिएशन आ जाएगा। अगर आप देखें तो ये हमारा P हो जाएगा, NB की वैल्यू तो सेम रहने वाली है, उसमें बहुत ज्यादा चेंज नहीं आएगा, 5396 इंटू 10 टू द पावर 19 e टू द पावर माइनस 0.35 डिवाइडेड बाय 0.035, ये कितना आएगा सर बताइए?
ये आएगा आपको 69.89
इंटू 10 टू द पावर 13 पर सेंटीमीटर क्यूब। ये 10 टू द पावर 13 के टर्म में आपसे पूछा हुआ है, तो ये वैल्यू 69.89 आएगी। अब और यहां से अगर हम अप्रोक्सीमेशन नहीं कर रहे हैं, पूरी वैल्यू 0.03466 रख रहे हैं, 63.36 आ रहा है। ह्यूज डिफरेंस है दोनों वैल्यूज में, तो या तो वाइड रेंज एनडीटी में दी जाएगी या तो नहीं, वाइड रेंज ही दी जाएगी, तभी इस आंसर में सही हो सकता है, अदरवाइज अप्रोक्सीमेशन के हिसाब से आंसर वेरी कर सकता है। बट दोनों तरह से सॉल्यूशन आपके सामने है। नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन।
मे बी ये डिपेंड करता है कि उन्होंने क्या ट्राई किया है क्वेश्चन बनाते समय। सपोज उन्होंने यही वैल्यू को माइंड में फिट करके बनाया है तो ये उनका आंसर आ रहा होगा, और उसके हिसाब से उन्होंने मान लो रेंज 60 to 64 सेट कर दिया, और आप मान लो कोई बच्चा ऐसे करके आ गया है, तो ये अपन इसमें कुछ नहीं कर सकते हैं, ठीक है। लेकिन ये मतलब एक बहुत वाइड रेंज देनी चाहिए अगर क्वेश्चन बनाते समय दोनों बातों का ध्यान रखा गया। साथ ही साथ EF माइनस EV जैसे सर ने बोला वो हमने 400 केल्विन पर कंसीडर किया है, क्योंकि फुल स्टॉप लगा दिया है और हमें पता नहीं है कि वो 300 केल्विन पर है कि 400 केल्विन पर है। अगर सपोज वो EF माइनस EV 300 केल्विन पर गिवन है तो फिर अगेन चेंज हो जाएगा। तो मीनिंग इज दैट दिस इज द प्रोसीजर, ये हमने डिस्कस किया, और देयर मे बी सम वेरिएशन इन द ऑप्शंस। ओके, so let us go for the next question. Okay, so next question based on the MOS capacitor. For a MOS capacitor, flat band voltage and threshold voltage are given, that is VFB is the flat band voltage and VT is the threshold voltage. इस क्वेश्चन में पूछा गया है कि अगर हम गेट वोल्टेज को वेरी करते हैं तो डिप्लीशन विथ गेट वोल्टेज के साथ कैसे वेरी करेगा। अब देखो ये बहुत सिंपल क्वेश्चन है, अगर आप इसको देखें फ्लैट बैंड वोल्टेज एंड गेट वोल्टेज के हिसाब से। अब पहली बात इस क्वेश्चन में ऑब्जर्व करना है कि सबस्ट्रेट कौन से टाइप का है। तो आप देख रहे हो कि देखो थ्रेशोल्ड वोल्टेज जो है ना आपका VT, वो VG की पॉजिटिव वैल्यू पर बना हुआ है, और थ्रेशोल्ड वोल्टेज पॉजिटिव मींस P सबस्ट्रेट MOS कैपेसिटर इज देयर। ओके, अब बात करते हैं, आपको पता होना चाहिए कि अगर मेरा गेट वोल्टेज अगर फ्लैट बैंड वोल्टेज से कम है तो ये आपका एक्यूमुलेशन मोड ऑफ ऑपरेशन होता है। अगर एक्यूमुलेशन मोड ऑपरेशन की बात करें तो डिप्लीशन विथ की बात करें हम, तो डिप्लीशन विथ कितना होगा? In the accumulation mode there is no depletion charge, okay, there is accumulation charge, तो depletion with is 0, okay। लेकिन जैसे ही मैं गेट वोल्टेज को फ्लैट बैंड वोल्टेज से ज्यादा करता हूं और थ्रेशोल्ड वोल्टेज से कम रखता हूं तो इस रेंज में हम देखें तो मॉस कैपेसिटर जो होता है पहले इनिशियली डिप्लीशन मोड में होता है एंड देन इन्वर्जन मोड भी उसमें स्टार्ट हो जाता है। मीनिंग इज दैट डिप्लीशन एंड इन्वर्जन मोड आपका स्टार्ट हो जाता है, डिप्लीशन एंड इन्वर्जन मोड। ओके, अब डिप्लीशन और इन्वर्जन दोनों के केस में डिप्लीशन विथ आपका अवेलेबल होता है डेफिनेटली। और जब गेट वोल्टेज की वैल्यू अगर मैं थ्रेशोल्ड वोल्टेज से ज्यादा कर दूं तो इसको बोलते हैं हम स्ट्रॉन्ग इन्वर्जन कंडीशन। और आपको पता होना चाहिए कि स्ट्रॉन्ग इन्वर्जन कंडीशन में आपका डिप्लीशन चार्ज या डिप्लीशन विथ ऑलमोस्ट कांस्टेंट हो जाते हैं, वो वेरी नहीं करते बिकॉज सरफेस पोटेंशियल विल नॉट राइज फर्दर। ओके, तो अगर हम बात करें डब्ल्यू की, तो डब्ल्यू या डिप्लीशन चार्ज की बात करें वो हमारा कांस्टेंट हो जाएगा डेफिनेटली। अब बात करते हैं कि डिप्लीशन विथ जो है वो गेट वोल्टेज पर कैसे डिपेंड करेगा। अगर डिप्लीशन विथ का फॉर्मूला देखें हम किसी भी सबस्ट्रेट में, तो डब्ल्यू डी इक्वल टू क्या होगा, 2 टाइम्स ऑफ परमिटिविटी एप्सिलॉन इनटू सरफेस पोटेंशियल, इसका मॉड लगा दिया मैंने, डिवाइड बाय क्यू इनटू Q into NS, where NS is the substrate doping concentration, P substrate हो N substrate हो, and phi S is the surface potential। अब आपको पता होना चाहिए कि surface potential और gate voltage क्या हो आपके, एक दूसरे पर डिपेंड करते हैं। अगर गेट वोल्टेज बढ़ता है तो सरफेस पोटेंशियल भी बढ़ता है, तो अगर मैं गेट वोल्टेज को बढ़ाता हूं तो डेफिनेटली सरफेस पोटेंशियल बढ़ता है। तो गेट वोल्टेज बढ़ेगा तो सरफेस पोटेंशियल बढ़ेगा, सरफेस पोटेंशियल बढ़ेगा तो डिप्लीशन विथ भी आपकी क्या होगी, बढ़ेगी। लेकिन हमें पॉइंट ध्यान रखना है कि स्ट्रॉन्ग इन्वर्जन के बाद वीटी के बाद डिप्लीशन विथ आपकी नहीं बढ़ेगी, डिप्लीशन चार्ज आपका नहीं बढ़ेगा। तो मीनिंग इज दैट, देखो अब इस ऑप्शन में देखते हैं अपन, ए ऑप्शन में जब गेट वोल्टेज फ्लैट बैंड वोल्टेज से कम है तो डिप्लीशन विथ की वैल्यू कितनी दिख रही है आपको, 0 दिख रही है। फिर फ्लैट बैंड वोल्टेज के बाद आपका अगर गेट वोल्टेज को बढ़ाता हूं तो डिप्लीशन विथ बढ़ रही है, अंडर रूट ऑफ फाई एस के साथ, अंडर रूट ऑफ गेट वोल्टेज के साथ बढ़ रहा है। और फिर वीटी के बाद उसको कांस्टेंट होना चाहिए। अब देखो यहां पर वीटी के बाद बना नहीं है डायग्राम, अगर मैं बी ऑप्शन को देखूं अपने, तो बी ऑप्शन में भी यही सेम दिख रहा है, वीएफबी से पहले एक्युमुलेशन मोड एंड आपका डिप्लीशन विथ 0 दिख रहा है। डिप्लीशन विथ की वैल्यू बढ़ रही है फ्लैट बैंड वोल्टेज के बाद, डेफिनेटली डिप्लीशन इन्वर्जन बढ़ेगा। और वीटी के बाद अगर देखो वीटी के बाद ये आपका कांस्टेंट हो गया है क्या, डिप्लीशन विथ, तो आपका इसका आंसर क्या हो जाएगा, ऑप्शन बी आपका करेक्ट हो जाएगा। तो मीनिंग इज दैट फाइनल कंक्लूजन इज वीएफबी से लेकर वीटी तक बढ़ना है आपका क्या, डिप्लीशन विथ, और वीटी के बाद कांस्टेंट हो जाना है। जिस भी ऑप्शन में गिवन हो वीटी के बाद कांस्टेंट और वीटी से लेकर वीएफबी के बीच में वेरिएबल, दैट इज द करेक्ट ऑप्शन। और वीएफबी के नीचे आपका क्या वो चल रहा होगा, डिप्लीशन विथ 0 चल रहा होगा। आपको दिख रहा है डी और सी तो पॉसिबल ही नहीं है, सो बी इज द करेक्ट आंसर। ओके,
मैंने जैसे जिन लोगों ने मुझसे किया होगा, टर्मिनोलॉजी का थोड़ा बहुत डिफरेंस होगा सर की और मेरी टर्मिनोलॉजी में। एक सिंपल सा पॉइंट मैंने आपको लिखा होगा और कई न्यूमेरिकल भी कराए होंगे कि थ्रेशोल्ड वोल्टेज पर डिप्लीशन विथ मैक्सिमम होती है एंड एट द थ्रेशोल्ड वोल्टेज इट गॉट पिन्ड एट दैट वैल्यू। ये सेंटेंस में लिखाता हूं आपको। तो थ्रेशोल्ड वोल्टेज पर मैक्सिमम वैल्यू और फिर इसी पर पिंड हो गई, कांस्टेंट हो गई। एक्युमुलेशन मोड में क्योंकि चार्ज एक्युमुलेट हो रहा है, वहां कोई डिप्लीशन नहीं, 0 है। बीच में वेरिएशन होता है गेट वोल्टेज के साथ, जैसे आप कैपेसिटेंस भी निकालते हैं तो आप देखें एक्स डी वेरी करती है, उसके हिसाब से इक्विवेलेंट कैपेसिटेंस भी डिप्लीशन मोड में वेरी करता है, तो उसके हिसाब से ये वेरिएशन होगा। वहां से भी आप चुन सकते हैं, बहुत ज्यादा इसमें कुछ बताने के लिए आपके पास नहीं है। सिंपल क्वेश्चन है, लगभग सभी ने सही किया होगा। नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन देखते हैं। इन इंट्रिंसिक सेमीकंडक्टर एट T इक्वल टू 0 केल्विन, ये क्वेश्चन अगर नहीं कर पाए हैं तो आप अपना सर पकड़िए। व्हिच कंडीशन इज सेटिस्फाइड एट 0 केल्विन? I have told you that the intrinsic semiconductor behaves as a perfect insulator. So if it is a perfect insulator, then valence band में सारी states filled होनी चाहिए। Let us suppose silicon की बात कर रहे हैं तो all the 4 n states of the valence band should be occupied by the electron and conduction band should be empty। ये बहुत बार हम लोग बात कर चुके हैं, लिख चुके हैं। ऑप्शन ढूंढ लीजिए, valence band is completely filled with the electrons and conduction band is completely empty। ऑप्शन सी इसका आंसर हो जाएगा। इतना भी आसान गेट में नहीं पूछना चाहिए, लेकिन पूछ लिया गया है तो आप आंसर दीजिए।
मतलब इससे सिंपल क्वेश्चंस नहीं आ सकते आपके गेट में, और सारे 5 क्वेश्चंस हो गए, अब नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन नहीं है सर। ठीक है, थैंक यू।
सो थैंक यू। मुझे उम्मीद है कि आप सभी लोगों ने पूरे क्वेश्चंस किए होंगे और हमारा और सर दोनों लोगों का ये ओपिनियन है कि बहुत ही ज्यादा सिंपल था। ईडीसी का पेपर इससे ज्यादा सिंपल नहीं हो सकता है। उम्मीद है आप सभी लोगों ने बहुत अच्छे से पेपर किया होगा। ऑल द बेस्ट फॉर द कमिंग एग्जामिनेशंस।
Dear students, this year 5 questions have been asked from network analysis. In that one, 2 questions from the transients, and one is from 2-port network, other one resonance, and 1 question from the basics. Come to the first question. In the first question, what is our requirement is the current of this branch, Before writing equation, first verify, is there any way to simplify the network? In this example here, I am trying to apply source transformation. With help of the source transformation, let us convert this current source into equivalent voltage source. Here I am converting this current source into equivalent voltage source. While doing the conversion, concentrate on the given arrow mark carefully. Now correspond this arrow mark, positive sign is given. What about other one is the negative sign? Now about this current source, all these are the memory based questions. Now some students are saying 2 milliampere, some of them are saying the 1 milliampere. But here I am solving by taking this one as 1 milliampere. All these are only memory based questions. Now let us see the procedure. Now then after, what is our requirement is the current of this branch. For that one, simply going to go for nodal analysis. Let us take the potential at this point is a VA. With respect to ground potential, what is the polarity at this one is a plus by KCL. Now here the plus subtraction. What about this branch is a plus minus means addition. 1 kilo ohm and 200 both are in the parallel, 1200. What about this 1 milliampere is the incoming current. Sum of outgoing currents equal sum of incoming currents. In this entire equation, what is the unknown of this one is the, what is the unknown is the only VA. By simplifying this one, can you find out VA value? Simplify this one, find out VA value. Finally, what is your target? In the question, what is asking the IL value? Then what is the current of this branch? The current of this branch is the plus minus means addition. VA plus 1 by 1200. Check karo ji. Anybody answers IL value? 1.36 milliamperes. 1.36 milliamperes. Again come to the next question. Next question, if you observe here, this question from the transients. Before solving problem for this one, concentrate on the switch position carefully. क्यों देखिए in the question 2 switches are given. आप इधर arrow mark change किया तो पूरा solution बदल जाएगा. Now corresponds example here at t equal 0 seconds. At t equal 0 seconds, S1 is open, and what about this S2 is closed. Then the question, what is asking the current in the capacitor? Is asking the current in the capacitor at what instant is asking the at t equal to 0 plus. Current का पूछ रहे जी at t equal to 0 plus instant. इधर current find out करने के लिए first what you have to find out initial values. Inductor बोलते हो we have to find out initial current. Capacitor के लिए we have to find out the initial voltage. Now let us find out the initial values. To find out these initial values, let us see the equivalent circuit. Let us say the equivalent circuit at t equal to 0 minus. Now correspond given information at t equal 0 seconds switch is open. 0 minus switch was closed. Then what the current of this one is the current of this 1 ampere. Now 0 minus correspond to the steady state condition before operating the switch. Under steady state condition for DC source, how this capacitor behaves as an open circuit. Now what about this S2? Now 0 minus means before operating switch, S2 switch was open. Now under steady state condition, how this inductor behaves as a short circuit? Now what is your requirement is we need the initial current correspond to inductor and the initial voltage correspond to capacitor. Initial voltage correspond to capacitor. Now let us find out the respective values. Corresponds example, first let us find out the initial current. देखिए इधर ऐसा बोल सकते हैं ना, जो 1 ampere करंट है ना distributed in the branch 1 and the branch 2. इधर branch 1 निकालने के लिए simply can I use the application of current division technique? Can you use the application of current division technique? दोनों branches के लिए इधर total current कितना है इधर 1 ampere. Now opposite resistor by total resistance. इधर simplify करने से what is the current of this one is 1 by 5 amperes. 1 by 5 amperes. Now let us come to the VC. VC ऐसा बोल सकते हैं ना, voltage across this 100 ohms and voltage across the open circuit both are the same. Voltage across this 100 ohms and voltage across the open circuit both are the same. देखो जी, in this 100 ohms what the current of this one is 1 by 5. Resistance is 100. Simplify करने से what the voltage this one is 20 volts. Initial values are completed. Now question में क्या पूछ रहे हैं आपको, is asking the IC value at t equal to 0 plus. Is asking the IC value at t equal to 0 plus. Now for that one again let us go for the equivalent circuit. Let us go for the equivalent circuit at t equal to 0 plus. Now आप इधर क्वेश्चन में देखिए तो at t equal to 0 plus what about S1 is open. जब S1 open हुआ तो देखिए इधर this current source will not affect in the calculation. S1 is open. And one more thing is the S2 is closed. S2 closed was the short circuit and 100 ohms both are in the parallel. What is equivalent resistance equal to 0? Equivalent resistance 0. Then if you develop the remaining figure, capacitor has the initial value, it can replace by voltage source. What is the voltage source? How much here? 20. Now S1 is open, the current source will not affect in the calculation. Now S2 is the closed, 100 ohms replaced by short circuit. Now inductor have the initial current. Inductor does not allow sudden change of current and sudden change of current direction also. What is the remaining resistance of this branch is 25 ohms. देखिए इधर क्वेश्चन में दे दिया, resistance of this one is 25 ohms. Now in the question what is asking the current correspond this one. In the data itself IC direction also given. देखिए इधर ऐसा बोल सकते हैं, in the parallel circuit voltage across all the branches are the same. In the parallel circuit voltage across all the branches are same. Then what is the voltage across this one is 20 volts. 20 volts. आप इधर current find out करें तो 20 by 5. Then what the current will be the 4 by 5. देखिए इधर at this point can you apply KCL? If you apply KCL, देखिए इधर IC is the outgoing current, 1 by 5 outgoing, 4 by 5 also outgoing. इधर simplify करने से then whatever the IC is equal to minus 1 ampere. Whatever this IC equal to minus 1 ampere. Come to the next one. Again this question also from the transients only. It is also very easy question. देखिए here also what is asking the magnitude of VR. And he mentioned one more point also, maximum possible value. Okay. Now for this one also पहले क्या करेंगे, let us go for the first initial values. Now after operating the switch you have to find out the respective maximum value for VR. 0 minus. If you go for the t equal 0 minus, t equal 0 minus switch was closed. What resistance of this one is 1 ohm. Now under steady state condition how this inductor behaves as a short circuit. Now what is the requirement? The initial current correspond inductor. तो directly बोल सकते हैं short circuit resistance in the parallel, equivalent resistance 0. Remaining part कितना है? Only 1 ampere. Now for that one, if you find out the initial current, what is the initial current? This one is 2 amperes. But what is our requirement is the maximum possible of VR. Let us check it out. Now after operating switch means the switch was open. Once the switch was open, 2 volts is disconnected. जो 2 volts है ना, the 2 volts disconnected from the source. 2 volts is disconnected from the network. Then the remaining part is only 1 ohm. That means for t greater than 0, that means I am trying to develop the equivalent circuit at t equal 0 plus instant. I am trying to develop the equivalent circuit at t equal to 0 plus instant. Switch is open, 2 ohms. What about this inductor? Inductor is replaced by current source. Inductor replaced by current source. Now what is the inductor initial current is how much here? 2 amperes. In the data itself, polarity is also given. What are the given polarities for this one is the plus and the minus. VR. Now for this one, if you find out the VR magnitude here, for this one in this example, according to polarities, if you find out the VR value, whenever the current enters negative terminal, sign for the current is taken as the negative respect to resistance. What is the value of this one is the -4. But the question what is as the magnitude, that means mod we have to conclude. And one more thing is mentioned, VR maximum. होना बोलते इधर equation develop कर सकते हैं, we get the equation in the exponential form. And one more thing, इधर देखिए actual source is disconnected, that means this is a discharging inductor. Discharging inductor बोलते at the starting at t equal 0 plus the current will be maximum. Whenever the current is maximum, then only this VR magnitude is the maximum. Then after what will happen, energy goes on decreases, current also decreases. That's why here what is the maximum value, maximum possible value of this one is the 4 volts. We are concluding the mod of V value. Okay. Remaining other questions explained by the Naresh sir.
Now this question is based on two-port network. I think is so many times you have solved this type of question in a classroom as also OTS online test series में हुआ था. So here asking question is y parameters is given, find out the maximum power transferred from the source to the load. What the maximum power is? Here is the ZL is given. ZL is equal to maybe a, that is based on the RTH. RTH means ZTH. If your ZTH is in the form of complex, ZL is equal to ZTH conjugate. If it is a resistive nature, RL is equal to RTH. So देखेंगे directly now here is a maximum power के लिए. So find out the VTH and RTH. Simply, so VTH find out करने के लिए already given y parameters. So I'm writing equations now. So equations are I1 is equal to 1 by 100 into 2V1 minus V2. I2 is equal to 1 by 100 is same and minus V2 plus 4 by 3 V2. Our intention is find out the VTH. So how to find out the VTH? You open circuit this. Open circuit the here is a VTH. After open circuited, I2 is equal to 0 amperes. This open circuit voltage is nothing but a V2. So V2 is equal to VTH. So find out VTH provided I2 is equal to 0 amperes. So here is substitute here 0, here V2 and V1 here is. So here is a V1. Okay. This is a V1 and 4 by 3. So V2 we need I2 is equal to 0. Substitute here V2 is equal to 0, I2 is equal to 0, 1 by 100 minus V1 plus 4 by 3 V2. So V1 write in terms of V2, then get an answer. How to get a V1 in terms of V2? From equation 1. This is equation 1. So what is I1 is? You replace I1 in terms of V1, you get an answer. So V1 is from this circuit diagram. If you write a KVL equation here, here is a V1. This is I1. So what is V1 is equal to? From KVL, V1 is equal to 120 minus 10 I1. Substitute now. Simply I1 is equal to, I1 is coming to your V1, okay, or V1 by V1 minus V1 plus 120 by 10 is the I1. Okay, it is clear now. So substitute in a first equation, minus V1 plus 120 by 10 is equal to 1 by 100 2v1 minus v2. So 10, 0, 0 get cancelled. So minus v1 plus 120 into 10 is equal to 2v1 minus v2. So minus 10v1 minus 12v1 is equal to, so your minus 12v1 is equal to minus v2, your minus 1200. So now based on this, so minus 12v1, v1 is equal to, minus get cancelled, v2 plus 1200 by 12. Now v1 substitute in a second equation. Just see the second equation. Your second equation is, what is it now? 0 is equal to, where is it now? This is now 1 by 100 minus v1 plus 4 by 3 v2. Substitute this v1. Now you get a v2 is equal to VTH. Substitute. You get a 80 volts. I am not calculating. Directly you get answer is 80 volts. So VTH is 80 volts. So find out RTH or ZTH now. So whenever finding the RTH, there are two ways are there. One is RTH is equal to R, ZTH is equal to. Here you are not getting a ZTH. Why? Because all are in resistance. How to say all are resistances? There is no J term, there is no S term. So directly resistance only. So RTH is equal to, one is a VTH by ISC. Here don't inactive the any sources. RTH is equal to, another method is V2 by I2 or V by I ratio, provided inactive the independent sources. Now this circuit, inactive the independent sources. This source resistance is 10 ohms is given. Just look here now. So 10 ohms or not? Here 10 ohms short circuited here now. You have to apply V voltage here. V by I ratio will give us the answer. Here is a voltage V by I ratio. Here is a V2. So V by I ratio also equal to V2 by I2. We know if it is having the source resistance, how to find out the Y out? Maybe already given in so many times. Y out is nothing but a YTH. So YTH directly write लिख रहा हूँ formula directly. YTH is equal to Y22 minus Y12 into Y21 by here Y11 plus YS. YS is a source here admittance. Source admittance. If it is a suppose Z parameters, ZTH is equal to Z22 minus Z12 Z21 by Z11 plus ZS. Simply, if it is a Y, you would have YS. Substitute all the values here now. In place of YS, YS is nothing but a 1 by 10, not 10. So substitute Y22 already given, Y12 already given, Y21 already given, you get a YTH. This also equal to V2 by I2. From this you get a YTH is, YTH is equal to, after substituting, YTH is equal to 1 by 80 Siemens. So that is RTH or ZTH is equal to 80 ohms. So once if you know the RTH and VTH, what a P maximum, this is a resistive circuit, directly the formula is there, P max is equal to VTH square by 4 RTH. VTH is 80 into 80 by 4 into 80. 80 get cancelled, 420 is the, so 20 watts is the answer for this question. So directly you can apply this formula, you get a YTH. YTH you have to reciprocal it, you get a ZTH or RTH. This is a resistive network. So P max is directly use कर सकते हैं VTH square by 4 RTH. So next question. Is given. Okay, based on the resonance, is given Q is equal to 1000. Q is equal to 1000 and resonant circuit, this is series circuit. Frequency is omega naught is equal to 10 to the power of 6 radian per second. And which of the following is of RLC? Omega naught is given, Q is given. From this you get a bandwidth or not. So bandwidth is equal to omega naught by Q or not. omega naught is 10 to the power of 6 by this 1000. So omega naught is equal to 10 to the power of 3. Bandwidth in a series RL circuit direct formula is R by L is equal to 10 to the power of 3. So इसमें से directly option देख लो. You are not getting, because of your 3 unknowns but 2 equations are there. So directly you are not getting an answer. You have to go through the options. So which one is gives the R by L is equal to 10 cube. So 1 ohm 1 micro, it doesn't give the 10 cube. 0.1 1 micro, it doesn't give the answer. So 0.01 1 micro, no. And D, it gives the R by L is equal to 10 cube. Check it. So 1 micro, R is 0.001 by, here 1 micro, 1 into 10 to the power of minus 6. So 0.001 point निकलने के बाद 10 to the power of 3, here 10 to the power of 6. So the value is 10 to the power of 3 or not? So 10 to the power of 3. So bandwidth is 10 to the power of 3. ये आ गया. Again check it. Omega naught is equal to 1 by root LC or not? 1 by root LC. So 1 by root LC, 1 micro, and C also 1 micro. So root, this value is 10 to the power of 6 or not? So option D is correct. Okay. So these are the questions are given in this EC examination. EC gate paper में ये दिए थे. Okay. Thank you. Greetings of the day, dear students. I hope you all have done really well in the questions from analog electronics. From the data that we received from students, we got about, there are about 6 questions which came from analog, and out of the 6 we have clear data about 4 questions, and other 2 questions there is some ambiguity in the data. So I am Iftikhar Ahmed here and I have Rajkumar sir with me. We together will discuss those 4 questions. The first question, which is based on diode circuits, that will be taken up by Rajkumar sir.
Thank you, Iftikhar sir. So the diode question I will do it, remaining questions Iftikhar sir will do it. In this circuit he has given VAN as AC signal, not DC, first point, and one diode is in forward, one diode is in reverse. He is asking here the characteristics, output versus input characteristics. Okay, I will take this in a fresh page to solve it. Cut-in voltage is 0.7, transfer characteristics is asking. Let me write this question in the next page, that looks better. So, there are two diodes. We will take this first diode as D1, second diode as D2. They are in parallel with a battery here, 1 volt. This is R, this is VIN. This is your output. So, he is expecting output versus input characteristics for this problem. So, by seeing clearly D1 is in forward direction for positive cycle, for negative cycle D2 is in D2 will be in the forward direction. So, first I will start with positive half cycle analysis. I will take positive half cycle. If I consider the positive half cycle, I will assume that D1 is on for this, D2 is off. Okay. But at what voltage it will be on, just we will check it one time. Okay. If D1 is on, D2 is off, at what case it can happen is, if my input minus, if both are off, this 1 volt will come here. So, 1 volt, if it is greater than 0.7. Okay. This difference VAN minus 1 volt, if it is greater than cut-in voltage 0.7, D1 will come into on. That is the situation I created here. So, VAN minus 1 is greater than 0.7, then VAN should be greater than 1.7. Simply I got the condition for D1. If you want to make a D1 on, your input should be greater than 1.7 is required to make D1 on. D2 compulsory will be off because it is in reverse direction. So, next case, for negative half cycle, if I consider negative half cycle, by observation we can tell D2 will come into on, definitely it is in reverse direction, D1 will come into off. So, for negative half cycle we will take D1 off, D2 on, but we want to know at what voltage D2 will come into on, D1 will become off there. So, for that case D2 on position we will check this position. Anode side is 1 volt, 1 minus VIN should be greater than 0.7 here. Anode side is 1 volt now, cathode side is VIN. So, 1 minus VIN should be greater than the cut-in voltage 0.7. For that case D2 will get on. So, V1 if it comes this side it is 0.7 should be greater than VIN. So, VIN is less than 0.3 we are getting. So, these two situations helped me to understand when input is less than 0.3 D2 comes into on. When input is greater than 1.7 D1 will come into on. This is the concept. Now, in between 0.3 less than your input less than 1.7, in between these voltages I think neither of the diodes will be on. D1 is also off, D2 is also off, D1 will also off, D2 is also off. So, this is the situation I got from the circuit. Just I want to know the voltages V0, how much for each concept. If input is greater than 1.7, first he is telling D1 on, D2 off. When D1 is on, I think output will be for this case VIN minus 0.7, output will be VIN minus 0.7. This is the answer for the first condition, output voltage with respect to input voltage. In the second case D1 off, D2 on. If D1 is off here and D2 is on, the battery should be reverse here to right. So, the equation will come here as output will be equal to VIN plus 0.7. So, this equation is coming. For this situation, this is the equation. And coming to D1 off, D2 off, if you make both diodes off, no current will flow. So, output will become directly, it is I think it is 1 volt or 2 volts, it is 1 volt, it will be 1 volt. Okay. So this is the situation we are seeing. So if you see these positions, one case Vn minus 0.7, one case Vn plus 0.7 is like a straight lines, two straight lines are there. You can see the Va characteristics. This is your input, x-axis, your output, one is 0.3 and one limit is 1.7. These are the two limits we have. First point I understood 0.3 to 1.7, your answer is 1 volt. It's a constant. This is very simple. But second equation, if you start any one equation, suppose this equation I have taken, input is 0, suppose you have taken, your output will intersect at minus 0.7, somewhere here, minus 0.7. So you will get a straight line something like this with a slope of 1, with a slope of 1. You will get some straight line intersecting with the y-axis. Another straight line, when input is less than 0.3, when input is 0, if you keep V0 is intersecting at 0.7. So we have another line, something here 0.7. So you have another line like this, two parallel lines. Now what is the situation we have to take is, up to 0.3 this line is following here, this line, this straight line is following. So up to here this line will follow like this. 0.3 to 1.7 it is constant 1 volt. So 0.3 to 1.7 it is a constant 1 volt. Above this line it is following. So this line is following. So like this we got the characteristic for this first circuit. So if you go back and see the option, in these 4 options I hope most of the students, I am expecting you have written this is wrong answer, this is also not correct. I am expecting this question, this answer is correct. Maybe some typing mistake is there, it has to go like this. It is not passing through origin, it is not passing through origin, something like this. Okay. Option A will be the correct answer. Okay, according to your exam question, you can see this will be the good answer. The remaining 3 questions will be given answers by Iftikhar sir. You can carry on. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Rajkumar sir. I can see students giving answers here. I will go through the remaining questions. The next question, it is based on some MOSFET amplifier. It's a MOSFET amplifier with some active load. Okay, in the classroom we have done many such questions. A MOSFET amplifier having active load. If you look at the circuit here, input is applied at the source terminal of this MOSFET. Let me call it M1 and this I name as M2. Okay, I have told many times in the class, when you deal with such questions, you look at that MOSFET where input is applied. In this case, input हमने apply किया है at the source terminal. So input node will become source terminal here, and output is taken from the drain of M1. So very clearly that M1 becomes a common gate amplifier. M1 becomes a common gate amplifier, and that M2 will behave like a active load. Okay, M2 will act as a load here. In our AC analysis, we connect VDD node to ground, right? And we also connect this V1 node to ground. Even V2 node will be grounded. Those V1, V2 are bias voltages. They are DC voltages. In small signal AC analysis, these nodes are grounded. So it's very clear M1 is a common gate amplifier and M2 is a load here with the gate getting shorted to source. And that analysis sake, we can replace M2 with its dynamic drain resistance. When gate shorted to source, that MOSFET can be replaced by its dynamic drain resistance, RDS, or we can call it R0 also. So to cut it short, this is basically common gate amplifier. And you know very well properties of common gate amplifier. Common gate amplifier has input impedance which is low and output impedance it is high. Everybody remembers properties of common gate amplifier. Common gate and common base amplifiers, they have similar properties. They have a low input impedance and high output impedance. So if you look at input output impedances, now this type of properties are present in a current amplifier. Low input impedance and high output impedance. These are properties of current amplifier. Common gate can be called current amplifier according to input output impedances, and we know very well current amplifier is nothing but a current control current source. Okay, current amplifier is a current control current source. So in this way we can conclude that the given circuit will act like a current control current source. Okay, the first thing you have to decide here is it's a common gate amplifier. Then you should remember properties of common gate: low input impedance, high output impedance, and based on input output impedances we can say it is like a current amplifier, and current amplifier is nothing but a current control current source. So in that way I have taken answer as option A. Hope everybody has done it correctly in the exam also. Let's move to next question. Now this is based on a current mirror concept, an interesting question and easy to solve. Okay, this time questions from analog were on the easier side, and I hope this must have brought a big smile on your faces when you were answering these questions. If you look here, this current is 1 milliampere. Okay, and also pay attention to W by L ratio. This MOSFET has a W by L equal to 1, and whereas this one has a W by L how much? 10, and this one has a W by L how much? 7. So we can simply apply property from current mirror topic. When MOSFETs have unequal W by L ratio, then the I out upon I in that will be simply in the, it will be according to this equation. Okay, current is proportional to W by L ratio. Okay, let us apply that property. This MOSFET has a W by L equal to 1, this one has a W by L how much? 10. So very clearly current in this MOSFET should be how much? 10 milliampere. This current will be 10 milliampere, and this MOSFET has a W by L how much? 7. So here current should be 7 milliampere. 7 milliampere. Okay, now look at the lower two MOSFETs. Now this N channel MOSFET is in series with the upper P channel MOSFET. So these MOSFETs must be having same current. I am using here a property of series connection. Okay, so here also I should have a current 10 milliampere. Now these two MOSFETs, there must be some correction here in the diagram. I think this should be drain shorted to gate here. This connection is incorrect. Drain should be shorted to gate. Now this current is 10 milli. Now again apply property, this type of property. This W by L is 10, and this W by L how much? 5. I mean this is like half of the W by L ratio of this MOSFET. So if 10 milliampere flows here, then current in this MOSFET should be how much? 5 milliampere. 5 milliampere. Okay, this is W by L equal to 10, and this is W by L equal to 5. So if 10 milliampere flows here, then half of that current will flow here. Okay, now just observe, out of this 7 milli, 5 milli is flowing into this path. So if you apply KCL, the remaining current 2 milliampere should flow here. Okay, I am using the KCL concept here. 7 milli should divide, 5 milli will flow here, and the remaining 2 milliampere should flow here. And now question is about calculate V0. You can tell easily V0 will be how much? That 1k into 2 milliampere, 1 kilo ohm into 2 milliampere. I am getting output equal to 2 volt. So in this MOSFET question, the output voltage should be how much? 2 volt. I hope you all have done it correctly. Let's move to another question. Now this question is based on op amp, which is a very easy question, right? There are 3 op amps here. I will name them op amp A1. Let us call this as A2, and this I name as A3. Now if you notice, A1 is a inverting amplifier, A2 is a non-inverting amplifier, and A3 is a inverting type summing amplifier. Okay, let me name this output as V01. इस आउटपुट को हम लिख देते हैं V02. Okay, A1 is a inverting amplifier. So if I calculate V01, it will be minus R2 upon R1 minus R2 upon R1 into V in. Then op amp A2 is a non-inverting amplifier. Non-inverting amplifier. So if I write output VO2, I am using output formula of non-inverting amplifier. It will be 1 plus R2 upon R1 into V in. Okay, and then we can tell output for A3. A3 is a inverting summing amplifier. Op amp A3, it is a inverting summing amplifier. And for a inverting summing amplifier, output voltage can be written in this way. Both these resistors are of value R3 and this is R4. So I can write output directly. It will be minus R4 upon R3 minus R4 upon R3 into VO1 plus VO2. Okay, VO1, VO2 will act as inputs for this inverting summing amplifier. I have written this expression directly. You can get it through KCL also. Now here you substitute VO1 and VO2. Okay, if you substitute VO1, VO2 here, this part will cancel out. Okay, ये वाला part cancel हो जाएगा, and we get ultimately V out equal to minus R4 upon R3 into V in. Okay, the final expression will be in this way. This part got cancelled and we remain with only V in term here. So ultimately we get V out equal to this much, and we have to calculate here the ratio V out upon V in. तो अगर आप V out upon V in find करेंगे, it will be how much? Minus R4 R. So in this question the correct answer will be option C. So these were the questions for which we got clear data. There were a couple of more questions. One question was based on H parameter model. Some circuit was given in the question, it seems. That circuit we didn't get clearly, but from whatever available data in that question it was told that what should be H parameter values so that we get maximum V0 upon Vs. In that H parameter model question, from available data I can draw these conclusions. H11 should be low, H12 should be low, H21 should be very high, and H22 should be low. Under these conditions we get a high value for V0 upon Vs. But options were also not clear and circuit was also not very much clear from the available data, so I didn't include that question. And there was one more question, it seems, which came from analog, and that data we don't have as of now. So that's all from analog circuits. I hope everybody has done these questions correctly in the exam. Now relax for some time, and if you are appearing for next week's instrumentation gate paper, then keep your preparation on. Best wishes for you. I conclude my discussion here. Thank you.
Hello students, welcome to the digital electronics session. You can see the question on the screen here. As we discussed in the class also, like multiplexer related question is almost compulsory in every year exam. Like that only now also you can see there is a question related to the multiplexer. Here it is a very direct simple question because you know the select line is here. Based on this what we can say, tell me this Q bar, the output is nothing but Q bar into I naught plus Q into I1. Here Q bar, I naught is here grounded means 0 plus Q into I1 means it is nothing but P, so that it will be P into Q. So the answer is nothing but this one. So simple, direct expression based question it is. No tricky thing in this, isn't it? Right. Now, you can see here next question. Yeah. Synchronous counters. Related to this, every year the question is there. This year also like that only there is a question. Synchronous counter related question to handle, always we used to follow 3 steps. Then step 1 is, you know, we can say like write the inputs and outputs in the form of table, right? Inputs and outputs in the form of table. And step 2, you know that we used to discuss every time such type of question in the class, isn't it? Step 2 is nothing but write the corresponding inputs, write the corresponding connections, we can say corresponding connections on them. Next, step 3 is keep default or given state and proceed. Steps seems to be 3 steps like that, no, but the way of doing is so simple, you know that. See here where the connections from where first step is write the inputs and outputs in the form of table means, yeah, we are keeping this one, say this one is nothing but the D1, this is nothing but D2. So simply we can write that D1, D2, Q1, Q2, and this is the clock. And from where we got the connections here? Yeah, for the D1 we got the connection from Q2, and for the D2 we got the connection from Q1 bar, isn't it? Right. Now initially they gave 1 0 default or given state, I said no, so these steps already over. Next, given state is nothing but here 1 0, so that 1 0 you keep here. Now you apply here the Q2 is nothing but the 0, Q1 bar, that is 1 bar, that is 0. So D flip flop, whatever be the input, that is only the output we will get, no, so that here 0 0 we will get. Q2 is 0 here, Q1 bar 0 bar, that is 1, so that next state will be 0 1. Next again Q2 is here 1, Q1 bar 0 bar, that is nothing but 1, so that here 1 1 will get. Next here Q2 is 1 and Q1 bar is 0, so that we are going to get 1 0. Sir, this state is repeated, no? Yeah, when the state is repeated we should not consider, already cycle is completed, so that this is nothing but the cycle we are having. So we are, how many states we got? 4, so that the answer is mod 4. Very simple like that. And the input given is how much it is? Sir, 1 megahertz is given. Yes. Then based on that, output frequency will be very simply F out is nothing but F in by mod value. Mod value is here 4 and that is 1 megahertz, so that is nothing but we can say 1000 kilohertz by 4, so it is 250 kilohertz. So simply you will get the answer like this. Got it? Right. Next you can see this is the question here. here the worst case delay, actually critical path delays, worst case delay they are asking. Each logic gate is 1 nanosecond. You know, this is a latch where this output is connected as the feedback from that to the next logic gate input, and then that is the way the connections when they are present, and they are giving each logic gate is 1 nanosecond, then that is when connected here, that 1 again here plus 1, so that 2 nanoseconds we are going to get there also, isn't it? Like that, here one more question is given. In this one they asked the latency. Latency at the output means if one particular input is there here, that output to come here, it takes one particular clock pulse, and again here to come 2 pulses, here to come it will be 3 pulses. If you see that the logic circuit in a very simple manner, you are going to get the answer also. See, so simply here 3 clock pulses. Don't make the complication in the mind, simply just look at that into that simple way, you are going to get the answer also like that, isn't it? So the latency is 3 clock pulses because input applied here, after, because it is a synchronous counter, like you can see that all these flip-flops are connected from the same clock generator. So from this to this here 1 clock, like that up to this 2 clock, up to that 3 clock. So from this input to that particular output 3 clock pulses required for that, that is the latency there. Got it? Right. Thank you.
Yeah, students, I received some questions for communication systems which are purely memory based questions. So let's solve the questions which I received for communication systems seems to be very easy questions. So let's try to solve them. The first one, if you see, this is just a very basic question. You have to check which of the following will be the valid PSTs. Okay, so this is MSQ type question. So one or more options can be correct. So you see this for power spectral density, the basic properties we know, that is the power spectral density is basically even function, and the power spectral density never takes the negative values. Okay, so based on those basic properties, so the first one, it is a valid PST. Okay, so this is even function. Okay, and it never takes the negative values. Even this is also a valid PST, the same reason. Okay, so this is even function and it never takes negative values, it takes only positive values. And if you see, this is not valid PST because it is not even. Okay, this is of course not
valid PST, and this is also not valid PST because it is of course not a even function. So here A and C will be correct. Okay. Now if you see the next question, okay, so here this is also this model of questions given in the previous GATE questions, previous GATE examinations also. Yes, here xt is given, and this is a white noise with power spectral density 1/2 watts per hertz, and yes, this xt is given as the input to LTS system. Okay, and output power output random process I am denoting with YT, and here the impulse response of this LTS system is given, that is e power minus t ut. Okay, then we have to find out the average power of the output. We have to find out. So average power of YT you have to find out. Average power of a random process means that is simply, okay, the power of the random process only you can understand, that you can see as the total power only, the power of the random process. So here the input PST, this is Sx of f, that is half omega per hertz, this is. So to find the output power, so first we will find the output PST. The output PST is equals to input PST into, this is mod HF square. Okay, so this is input PST is 1/2, and this is mod HF square, this is. Okay, now yes, so then how to find the output power, the power of this YT, this is, I am denoting with this is, yeah, of course, the power of YT, that is simply the total area under PST will give you power, Sy of f df, and it will be equals to integration minus infinite to infinito, so 1/2, this is mod HF square df. So to find this mod HF square df, no need to find Fourier transformation of this and finding this integration, that is not required. Okay, so you know one basic result in signals and systems, that is, yes, of course I can write this is half integration, this is mod HF square df. You can write this in terms of HT also. How you can write is half times 2 integration minus infinite to infinite, this is h squared t dt, this is. So integration mod HF square df you can write in terms of HT like this, and it will be 1/2 times 2. HT is given, that is e power minus t ut, this is, okay, e power minus t ut, and you can ut, it is defined only for, this is, okay, yeah, it takes only positive values. You can simply write this as, yeah, 0 to infinite, okay, and square after h squared t means it is e power minus 2t, it will be, this is, and dt. Okay, so if you do h squared t means ut will takes only, it is defined only for positive time axis, then it will be 0 to infinite, and this is e power minus 2t, this is, and if you do this integration, okay, this is 1/2, so 1/2 times 2, 1/2, this is 1/4 watts, so I can say 0.25. Okay, so the output power will be equals 0.25 watts. Okay, the remaining questions Naveen sir will take. Okay,
hello students. Question number 3, signal to noise ratio of an ADC with a full scale sinusoidal input is given to be 61.96 dB. The number of bits per sample in ADC is asking. What is the number of bits that present in the ADC? So see the solution for this one. So if you talk about the solution, First thing is signal to quantization noise ratio for the sinusoidal input is given, that is 61.96 dB. So this SQNR will written like this, equal to 1.76 plus 6.02 N dB. So if you make it simplified, you get 1.8 plus 6 N dB. Now we can substitute SQNR. So 61.96 dB is equal to 1.76 plus 6.02 N of dB. So we can write like this, 6.02 N is equal to 61.96 minus 1.76, and you can find out such that the number of bits N is equal to 10 we are getting. That's the number of bits, N is equal to 10. So the answer for this one is 10 bits, is N is equal to 10, number of bits, that is N is equal to 10. So next question. So this question is having some basics of signals and system also, where we are using the Nyquist sampling frequency is asking in radians per second. So one signal x1 of t, another signal x2 of t are band limited, having bandwidth b is equal to 4 pi into 10 cube radians per second each. In the figure below, the given figure, the Nyquist sampling frequency radians per second required to sample y of t is, he was asking. So if you see about this question, so we can write like this from the diagram, x1 of t is multiplying, if you check it, x1 of t is multiplying with x1 of t is multiplying with cos of 12 pi into 10 cube into t, plus x2 of t is also multiplying with, here having small correction, this is equal to 4 pi, cos of 4 pi into 10 cube into t, that is cos of 4 pi into 10 cube into t we are having. If you observe x1 of t, your x1 of t signal is a band limited signal which is having a frequency of 4 pi is present, that is 4 pi into 10 cube radians per second we are having, which is given as x1 of omega. It is equal to minus 4 pi into 10 to the power of 3. Similarly, x2 of omega is also the same signal which is band limited with the same bandwidth. So equal to omega is 0, 4 pi into 10 cube, and this value is minus 4 pi into 10 cube we are having. So this is equal to that of x2 of omega. If this signal is multiplied with the cosine function, the signal x1 of omega will shift towards the right side and left side by an amount of 12 pi into 10 cube into t. If you see the sketch of this one, so completely consider this sketch, and here if you write this is y of t, and the net resultant is equal to that of y of t we are having, that is equal to y of t. Now I am applying the Fourier transform for this one and writing in terms of frequencies. So see here, that is your y of omega will looks like this. So one signal is multiplying with the cos of 12 pi into 10 cube into t. So 4 pi is shifted. The center frequency now changes to 12 pi. So this is equal to 12 pi into 10 cube. So 12 pi plus 4 pi, this become 16 pi into 10 cube, and 12 pi minus 4 pi, that is equal to that of 8 pi into 10 cube is present. And when you see about the signal x2 of omega is also shifted to the 4 pi, the center frequency is 4 pi. So that is equal to 4 pi plus 4 pi, and that value is equal to that of 8 pi. So we can write here it is equal to that of 8 pi. So into 10 cube, that is 4 pi into 10 cube we are having, and this value is equal to minus 4 pi into 4 pi, that value will become equal to 0, equal to 0. So you observe clearly such that this value is right now changes into your y of omega. The same will also be present on the negative side also. Asking the sampling rate, so highest frequency is 16 pi into 10 cube. So we can write like this, that is the Nyquist rate is equal to, so Nyquist rate is equal to 2 into highest frequency, that is 16 pi into 10 cube, and that is equal to 32 pi into 10 cube radians per second is the frequency we are having. That's the Nyquist rate, Nyquist frequency we have. So coming to the option, so the option which is present here is equal to that of D option, option D. So these are the questions, memory based questions that present from the communication systems. Okay, thank you.
Hello everyone. So myself Rohit Tripathi and with me Naveen sir, and we both are going to discuss questions of signaling system. Okay, and we will solve them one by one. Okay. So first question is like this: band limited signal is given m of t, and what is its maximum frequency? Its maximum frequency is b, and its energy is how much? Capital E. Okay. So it is like this. So let us proceed. Let us write some data. So signal is m of t. Its Fourier transform is having maximum frequency of b. It means if you will draw m of omega with respect to omega, then its Fourier will be like this: rectangle in the range minus b to b. Okay, and what about energy? सिग्नल का एनर्जी कितना है? सिग्नल का एनर्जी है E. ओके, सो एनर्जी ऑफ एम ऑफ टी, ये वैल्यू कितनी गिवन है? कैपिटल ई. तो एक बार देख भी लेते हैं कि कैपिटल ई की कैसे कैलकुलेट करते. 1/2 पाई इंटीग्रेशन माइनस इन्फानाइट टू प्लस इन्फानाइट मॉडुलस ऑफ एम ओमेगा होल स्क्वायर डी ओमेगा. तो मैंने पार्सेवल्स एनर्जी थ्योरम यूज़ किया है. तो और पीक एम्पलीट्यूड, लेट अस अज्यूम पल्स एम्पलीट्यूड इज हाउ मच? 1. तो फूरियर ट्रांसफॉर्म मैंने अज्यूम कर लिया माइनस बी से बी में कितना है? 1. तो जब आप इसे इंटीग्रेट करेंगे तो रिजल्ट आप लिखेंगे 2 इंटू बी अपॉन 2 पाई. सो कैपिटल ई इज हाउ मच? बी बाई पाई. एंड व्हाट इज द सेकेंड पार्ट? देयर इज अनदर सिग्नल एंड द सिग्नल इज एम टी कॉस ओमेगा नॉट टी. And its and here value of omega naught is how much? 10b. तो हमें ये बताना है कि mt cos omega naught t की एनर्जी इन टर्म्स ऑफ E कितनी होगी. ठीक है. So let us assume second signal is yt, and what is yt? Yt is mt cos omega naught t. Okay. Now let us write its Fourier transform. So we are going to use property of modulation. So y omega will be equal to 1/2 m of omega plus omega naught plus m of omega minus omega naught. And value of omega naught is given, it is how much? 10b. Now we have to draw y of omega with respect to omega. ठीक है, तो कैसे ड्रॉ करेंगे? m ओमेगा को ओमेगा नॉट से राइट शिफ्ट करो, मतलब 10b से क्या करो? राइट शिफ्ट करो. तो एम ऑफ ओमेगा मैंने ड्रॉ किया, इसे 10b से क्या करना है? राइट शिफ्ट. जब आप इसको 10b से राइट शिफ्ट करेंगे तो रिजल्ट आप लिखेंगे 2 इंटू बी अपॉन 2 पाई. सो कैपिटल ई इज हाउ मच? तो सेंटर फ्रीक्वेंसी होगी 10B और एक्सटेंशन होगा 9B से 11B तक. ओके ठीक है. फिर इसके बाद ओमेगा नॉट से लेफ्ट शिफ्ट करो, मतलब 10B से लेफ्ट शिफ्ट करो, तो सेंटर फ्रीक्वेंसी -10B, एक्सटेंशन -9B से -11B तक. Okay, and what about amplitude? Amplitude will be divided by 2 because of this 1/2 factor. So what is the amplitude of m omega here? 1. And we have to divide this amplitude with which factor? With which value we have to divide 2? So what will be the amplitude here? 1/2. So y of omega we have already drawn. Now we have to calculate energy of signal yt. So again, which property we are going to use? Parseval's energy theorem. तो पार्सेवल्स एनर्जी थ्योरम हमें यूज करना है. तो मैं यहाँ पर लिख रहा हूँ ऑलरेडी 1/2 इन ब्रैकेट. इंटीग्रेशन 2 पार्ट में करना होगा. -11B से -9B तक जो भी एम्पलीट्यूड है उसका मैग्नीट्यूड लिखे, फिर स्क्वायर करें. तो 1/2 का स्क्वायर कितना? 1/4 डी ओमेगा प्लस अगेन वी हैव टू रिपीट द इंटीग्रेशन फॉर दिस फ्रीक्वेंसी रेंज. सो 9B to 11B 1/4 डी ओमेगा. ठीक है. तो अब वैल्यू कितना आया? 1/2 पाई. यहाँ पर ये रेंज कितना है? 2B का. सो 2B अपॉन 4 प्लस 2B अपॉन 4, इट मीन्स इट इज इक्वल टू 1/2 पाई इंटू. So this term is B/2, this term is B/2, so B/2 plus B/2 is how much? B. So it is how much? B upon 2 pi. So it is how much? 1/2 into B by pi. And B by pi is the energy of m of t. तो m of t का एनर्जी कितना है? B by pi. तो B by pi को यहाँ हमने लिखा है, इसको किससे रिप्लेस करेंगे? एनर्जी ऑफ m of t से इंटू 1/2. और एम टी का जो भी एनर्जी है उसके लिए नोटेशन क्वेश्चन में क्या गिवन है? E. So m of t energy is represented by notation E. So we have calculated that for mt cos omega naught t or for the function yt, resultant energy will be how much? E/2. अब नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन नवीन सर एक्सप्लेन करेंगे.
The given question is, consider a signal x of t is equal to u of t plus 1.5
Mike.
minus u of t minus 1.5 and h of t is shown below. And h of t is shown below.
एक मिनट. माइक तो ऑन है.
Okay. So x of t is equal to u of t plus 1.5 minus u of t minus 1.5 and h of t is shown below. H of t is given like this, and if y of t is equal to x of t converted with h of t, then find area under y of t was asking. So y of t is the nothing but a convolution of x of t and h of t. So if you see this, the given x of t is equal to, the given x of t is equal to u of t plus 1.5 minus u of t minus 1.5. This can also written like this. So t equal to x of t, a rectangular function which is present from minus 1.5 to 1.5 and whose amplitude value is equal to 1. So we can write like this also, rectangular. So rect of t by the total value is equal to that of 3. Okay, 1.5 minus of 1.5 is equal to rect of t by 3. So if you apply the Fourier transform, so we apply Fourier transform, then your x of t will convert into x of omega, and such x of omega is equal to at sa of omega t by 2, which is equal to 3 sa into value is equal to 1.5 into omega, and that is the value of x of omega we are having. Similarly h of t we are writing. So if you see the h of t is equal to having an impulse function delta of t plus 3, and this looks like a rectangular function, and once again we can write plus rect of value is equal to that of t upon value is equal to 2 plus delta of plus 2 into delta of the strength was given as 2 into delta of t minus 2 we are having. Okay, so this value is equal to 2 into delta of t minus 2. So once again we are applying the Fourier transform. So here we are apply Fourier transform. If you apply Fourier transform, h of t will changes into h of omega, and the h of omega delta of the t plus 3, which is equal to that of e to the power of j, shift value is equal to 3, equal to e to the power j 3 omega, plus rectangular function. Once you take about the rectangular function, we can write like this, equal to that of at. So value is equal to that of 2 into SA of omega we are having. So after that we can write the value is equal to plus 2 into this value is equal to e to the power of minus j 2 omega is present. So delta of t minus 2. So if you talk about the y of t is given like this, which is equal to sampling of convolution of x of t into h of t, and once again we apply the Fourier transform. It will changes into y of omega. So y of omega is equal to, so convolution in time domain become multiplication in the frequency domain. So x of omega is into h of omega. So x of omega is already, we have that value, which is equal to that of 3 into SA of 1.5 omega, which is completely multiplied with e to the power of j 3 omega plus 2 into SA of omega plus 2 into e power minus j 3 omega. So what is asking in the question is integral minus infinite to plus infinite y of t into dt is equal to y of omega at omega value is equal to 0, that is equal to y of 0. So substituting the value of 0 in this place, so we will get the value like this, which is equal to that of 3 into e power 0 is 1 plus this value is equal to 2 and this value is 2. So 2 plus 2 4 plus 1 5, 5 3s are 15. So this is the answer we are having for the given question. So area under y of t is equal to 15. So next question will discussed by the Rohit sir.
तो नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन देखते हैं क्या है. तो यहाँ पर एक गॉसियन फंक्शन है. दिस गॉसियन फंक्शन इज e की पावर माइनस टी स्क्वायर एंड वी हैव टू कैलकुलेट इट्स फूरियर ट्रांसफॉर्म. सो व्हाट आई एम गोइंग टू डू, आई एम गोइंग टू write a formula, a standard result, and result is like this. For e की power minus at square for a greater than 0, what is the Fourier transform? Under root pi by a e की power minus ओमेगा स्क्वायर बाई 4a. ये एक स्टैंडर्ड रिजल्ट है कि अगर गॉसियन फंक्शन ऐसा है तो इसका फूरियर ट्रांसफॉर्म इस फॉर्म में लिखते हैं. अच्छा, अगर क्वेश्चन में देखें तो यहाँ पर e की पावर माइनस टी स्क्वायर है. ये जो स्टैंडर्ड फंक्शन e की पावर माइनस ए टी स्क्वायर है, तो गिवन फंक्शन में कन्वर्ट करना है तो फिर a को कितना पुट करूं मैं, 1. तो आप क्या लिखते e की पावर माइनस टी स्क्वायर, तो फूरियर ट्रांसफॉर्म a को इसमें कितना पुट करना पड़ेगा, 1. तो मैं क्या लिखता, रूट पाई e की पावर माइनस ओमेगा स्क्वायर बाई 4. तो गिवन फंक्शन x ऑफ t e की पावर माइनस टी स्क्वायर है, और ये जो हमने RHS में लिखा है यही तो सिग्नल का क्या है, फूरियर ट्रांसफॉर्म. तो आंसर है रूट पाई e की पावर माइनस ओमेगा स्क्वायर बाई 4. सो रूट पाई e की पावर माइनस ओमेगा स्क्वायर बाई 4. सो दिस इज in which option? Option C. So answer for this question is what? Option C. And next question will be dealt by Naveen sir.
So question number 4, input x of n having discrete time Fourier transform x of e power j omega is equal to 1 minus e power minus j omega plus 2 into e power minus j 3 omega is passed through an LTI system of frequency response h of e power j omega. is equal to 1 minus 1 by 2 e power minus j2 omega. The output y of n of the system he was asking. So output y of n is asking passing through an LTI system. So these two will be get multiplied to each other. We get y of e power j omega. Then we can write like this. So we can consider the solution. X of a power j omega is equal to 1 minus x of e power j omega is equal to 1 minus e power minus j omega plus 2 into e power minus j3 omega. This passed through an response which is given as impulse response e power j omega, that is equal to 1 minus 1 by 2 e power minus j2 omega. Then we know that y of e power j omega is equal to, passing through an LTI system, x of e power j omega into h of e to the power of j omega. So now we are just multiplying these two values. So that resultant is equal to that of 1 minus e power minus j omega plus 2 into e power minus j3 omega is completely multiplied with h of e power j omega. 1 minus 1 by 2 e to the power of minus j2 omega is present, and this value is equal to 1 minus e power minus j omega plus 2 into e power minus j3 omega, and that is multiplied with minus of 1 by 2 e power minus j2 omega. So minus minus plus 1 by 2 e to the power of minus j3 omega, plus and minus is minus, that is equal to e to the power of minus j5 omega is present. So after this, that is equal to y of e power j omega. So apply inverse discrete time Fourier transform. So then this converts into y of n is equal to delta of n minus delta of n minus 1 plus 2 into delta of n minus 3 minus 1 by 2 into,
I think one term is some term is missing here. 1 into 1 1. Then if you will multiply this term with this term, 1 minus e to the power minus j psi.
I think we need to add these two things, sir.
Yes, we have
1 by 2 plus 3 by 2, that value is equal to 1 by 2 into delta of n minus 3 and 1 by 2 into delta of n minus 2 plus 1 by 2 into delta of n minus 3 minus delta of n minus 5 is present. So we need to add these two values. So this 1 by 2 plus 2. So this resultant is equal to delta of n minus delta of n minus 1 minus 1 by 2 delta of n minus 2 plus 2 into 1 by 2, that is equal to 5 by 2 delta of n minus 3 minus delta of n minus 5 is the resultant value. So we can write like this, that is equal to delta of n minus delta of n minus 1 minus 0.5 into delta of n minus 2 plus 2.5 into delta of n minus 3 minus delta of n minus 5 is present. So if you check this one with the options, then the correct option we are having is equal to option D. So option D is the correct answer.
Option D, or can you check just once again? What was the last?
Delta of n
Delta n minus delta
minus delta of n minus 1, that means option
A, I think.
this will be option A. Plus 2.5 delta of n
Minus delta of n minus
minus delta of n minus 1
A is
minus delta of
having
n
the
minus 1
same
minus 0.5 delta of n minus. Yes, students, this is so option A is the correct answer. Delta of n minus delta of n minus 1 minus 0.5 delta of n minus 2 plus 2 in 2.5 delta of n minus 3 minus delta of n minus 5. Okay. So next question we will deal with the Rohit sir.
ओके तो अब देखते हैं नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन क्या है। नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन में एक एलटीआई सिस्टम है जिसमें इनपुट एक्स टी गिवन है, इट इज 10 cos 10.5 ओमेगा नॉट टी। system impulse response is h of t and h of t is already given and we have to calculate system output by t. तो इसे कैसे प्रोसीड करें? इसे फूरियर ट्रांसफॉर्म के थ्रू प्रोसीड करेंगे. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, आउटपुट ऑफ एलटीआई सिस्टम इज गिवन बाय कन्वोल्यूशन बिटवीन इनपुट एंड इंपल्स रिस्पांस. नेक्स्ट स्टेप में क्या अप्लाई करोगे? फूरियर ट्रांसफॉर्म. सो वाई ओमेगा इज इक्वल टू एक्स ओमेगा इंटू एच ओमेगा. अब क्या कैलकुलेट करना होगा? एक्स ओमेगा एच ओमेगा. बट इट इज गोइंग टू टेक मोर टाइम. So there is one more method to solve such type of questions and there is a direct formula. ठीक है, फूरियर ट्रांसफॉर्म के अप्रोच से भी सॉल्व कर सकते हैं बट उसमें टाइम ज्यादा लगेगा. अब इसमें एक डायरेक्ट फॉर्मूला क्या है, थोड़ा ध्यान से देखना. नाउ दिस इज द इम्पल्स रिस्पांस ऑफ एलटीआई सिस्टम एंड लुक एट दिस इम्पल्स रिस्पांस. दिस इम्पल्स रिस्पांस इज रियल एज वेल एज इवन फंक्शन ऑफ टाइम. ओके, सो व्हाट वी हैव सीन दैट impulse response of system is real as well as even function of time. Okay, so एक LTI सिस्टम है जिसका इम्पल्स रिस्पॉन्स रियल इवन है और अगर LTI सिस्टम का इम्पल्स रिस्पॉन्स इवन फंक्शन ऑफ टाइम है, यहाँ रियल ये एक्स्ट्रा इंफॉर्मेशन है जिसकी रिक्वायरमेंट नहीं है. यहाँ एच ऑफ टी इवन होना चाहिए और इवन है. और अगर एच ऑफ टी इवन फंक्शन ऑफ टाइम है तो कॉस ओमेगा नॉट टी साइन ओमेगा नॉट टी आइगन फंक्शन की तरह ट्रीट होंगे. ये मैंने क्लास में एक्सप्लेन किया है और सिमिलर क्वेश्चन जीटीक्यू में सॉल्व कराया है. ठीक है, तो अगर आपने जीटीक्यू अटेंड किया होगा तो ये बहुत इजी क्वेश्चन लगा होगा आपको. तो एक्स ऑफ टी साइनोसॉइडल फॉर्म में है, क्या है? 10 cos 10.5 ओमेगा नॉट टी. ठीक है, इनपुट में साइनोसाइड है और एच ऑफ टी इवन फंक्शन ऑफ टाइम है. रियल है या नहीं उससे कोई मतलब नहीं है, बट रियल है तो एक एक्स्ट्रा इन्फॉर्मेशन है. तो अब आउटपुट लिखने का एक डायरेक्ट फॉर्मूला है और वो डायरेक्ट फॉर्मूला क्या है? वाई टी यू कैन राइट डायरेक्टली इन दिस वे, एच ऑफ ओमेगा एट ओमेगा इक्वल टू इनपुट फ्रीक्वेंसी. अगर आप इनपुट में देखें तो इनपुट फ्रीक्वेंसी कितनी है? 10.5 ओमेगा नॉट. So h of omega at omega equal to 10.5 omega naught into input sinusoid. जो भी input sinusoid आपने लिखा है into input sinusoid. ठीक है, so what is input sinusoid? 10, just a minute, 10 cos 10.5 omega naught t. ठीक है, तो हमें करना क्या? हमें बस केवल h of omega का वैल्यू कैलकुलेट करना है ओमेगा इक्वल टू 10.5 ओमेगा नॉट पर. ठीक है, तो अब एच ऑफ ओमेगा कैलकुलेट करना है. अच्छा, एच ऑफ टी तो गिवन है. एच ऑफ टी कितना है एक बार मैं लिखता हूं. एच ऑफ टी इज पाई, एच ऑफ टी इज पाई साइन ओमेगा नॉट टी अपॉन पाई टी होल स्क्वायर इनटू सम टर्म इज मिसिंग हियर. एक्चुअली इस क्वेश्चन में एक टर्म मिसिंग है, तो मिसिंग टर्म क्या है वो मैं यहाँ लिख दे रहा हूँ. क्वेश्चन में मिसिंग टर्म कुछ ऐसा है, ये जो आप देख रहे हैं इसके साथ एक टर्म और भी मल्टीप्लाइड है, तो इसे मैं थोड़ा डिटेल में लिखता हूं और यहाँ लिखता हूं. ठीक है बेटा, यहाँ थोड़ा स्पेस है तो इधर लिख रहा हूं. तो एच ऑफ टी जो एक्चुअल क्वेश्चन में है पाई साइन ओमेगा नॉट टी अपॉन पाई टी होल स्क्वायर इंटू कॉस 10 ओमेगा नॉट टी. तो 10 ओमेगा नॉट टी क्वेश्चन में मिसिंग था, तो वो डाटा मैंने अभी करेक्ट कर दिया है. ठीक है, अब एच ऑफ टी मालूम है, इसके लिए क्या कैलकुलेट करना है? एच ऑफ ओमेगा. तो फटाफट एक काम करते हैं, एच ऑफ टी में ऐसा लिखते हैं, इट इज मल्टीप्लीकेशन ऑफ एफ टी एंड कॉस 10 ओमेगा नॉट टी वेयर एफ टी. अब मैंने एफ टी किस टर्म को अज्यूम किया है? ये जो टर्म आप देख रहे हैं इसे मैंने अज्यूम किया है फंक्शन एफ टी. ठीक है, सो वेयर एफ टी इज इक्वल टू पाई इंटू क्या लिखूं मैं? साइन ओमेगा नॉट टी अपॉन पाई टी होल स्क्वायर. तो एफ टी का फूरियर एफ ओमेगा लिखना है, क्योंकि एफ ओमेगा मिल जाएगा तो हम लोग एच ओमेगा कैलकुलेट कर लेंगे. ठीक है, तो एफ टी का फूरियर एफ ओमेगा जब आप कैलकुलेट करेंगे तो एफ ओमेगा ओमेगा के अगेंस्ट कैसा दिखेगा, ट्रायंगुलर। ट्रायंगुलर फूरियर ट्रांसफॉर्म मैं डायरेक्टली ड्रॉ कर रहा हूँ। एफ ऑफ ओमेगा विथ रिस्पेक्ट टू ओमेगा, एक्सटेंशन विल बी माइनस टू ओमेगा नॉट टू ओमेगा नॉट, पीक एम्पलीट्यूड विल बी हाउ मच, ओमेगा नॉट। तो उसका जब आप पूरे कैलकुलेट करेंगे तो ट्रायंगुलर आएगा कुछ इस फॉर्म में, ठीक है। अच्छा, अब ये जो रिलेशनशिप आप देख रहे हैं इस पर क्या अप्लाई करो, फूरियर ट्रांसफॉर्म। सो विच प्रॉपर्टी वी आर गोइंग टू यूज, प्रॉपर्टी ऑफ मॉड्यूलेशन। तो आप क्या लिखते हैं, एच ओमेगा विल बी इक्वल टू 1/2 इन ब्रैकेट एफ ऑफ ओमेगा प्लस 10 ओमेगा नॉट प्लस एफ ऑफ ओमेगा माइनस 10 ओमेगा नॉट। तो अब एच ऑफ ओमेगा ओमेगा के अगेंस्ट ड्रॉ करना है, ठीक है। तो एच ऑफ ओमेगा ओमेगा के अगेंस्ट ड्रॉ करना है, करें हम लोग ड्रॉ, ठीक है। एच ऑफ ओमेगा ओमेगा के अगेंस्ट कैसे ड्रॉ करेंगे, एफ ओमेगा को 10 ओमेगा नॉट से राइट शिफ्ट करो। तो ये जो ट्रायंगल है इसको 10 ओमेगा नॉट से क्या करना है, राइट शिफ्ट करना है। तो ट्रायंगल का सेंटर किधर होगा, 10 ओमेगा नॉट पर। एक्सटेंशन कहाँ से कहाँ तक, 8 ओमेगा नॉट से 12 ओमेगा नॉट। फिर इसके बाद एफ ओमेगा को 10 ओमेगा नॉट से क्या करना है, लेफ्ट शिफ्ट। तो यहाँ पर ट्रायंगल आया, सेंटर किधर होगा, -10 ओमेगा नॉट पर। एक्सटेंशन -12 ओमेगा नॉट से -8 ओमेगा नॉट तक। फिर जो भी पीक एम्पलीट्यूड होगा कितने से डिवाइड करोगे, 2 से। यहाँ पीक एम्पलीट्यूड कितना, ओमेगा नॉट, 2 से डिवाइड करो तो कितना, ओमेगा नॉट बाई 2। हमने एच ओमेगा कैलकुलेट कर लिया, इसके वैल्यू में कहाँ पर चाहिए, 10.5 ओमेगा नॉट पर। तो एच ऑफ ओमेगा ओमेगा के अगेंस्ट मिल गया। अब इसमें वैल्यू 10.5 ओमेगा नॉट पर जब आप कैलकुलेट करेंगे तो ये वैल्यू होगी कितनी। अगर आप इस तरह सोचें तो ये जो ट्रायंगल है, यहाँ ट्रायंगल का ये जो बेस विड्थ है इसके कंपैरिजन में ये जो ड्यूरेशन है 3/4 है। तो इसके कंपैरिजन में ये ड्यूरेशन कितना है, 3/4 है। तो पीक एम्पलीट्यूड और पीक हाइट के कंपैरिजन में ये हाइट कितना होगा, 3/4 होगा। इट मीन दिस हाइट विल बी 3/4 ऑफ ओमेगा नॉट बाई 2। सो दिस हाइट विल बी हाउ मच, 3/4 ऑफ ओमेगा नॉट बाई 2। तो ये वैल्यू कितना आएगा, 3 ओमेगा नॉट बाई 8। तो दोस्तों हम लोगों ने कैलकुलेट कर लिया है एच ओमेगा का वैल्यू 10.5 ओमेगा नॉट पर, और ये वैल्यू कितना आया, 3/8 ओमेगा नॉट। अब हमें क्या लिखना है, yt, और हम लोग yt लिखेंगे कैसे, डायरेक्टली किस रिलेशनशिप को यूज करके, जो हमने यहाँ पर लिखा है, h ऑफ 10.5 ओमेगा नॉट। h ऑफ 10.5 ओमेगा नॉट कितना आया, 3/8 ओमेगा नॉट इनटू इनपुट साइनोसाइड। इनपुट साइनोसाइड कितना, 10 cos 10.5 ओमेगा नॉट t, 10 cos 10.5 ओमेगा नॉट t, ठीक है। अब अगर आप देखें तो 2 से ये कैंसिल आउट होगा 4 टाइम्स में, ये कैंसिल आउट होगा 5 टाइम्स में। तो आंसर कितना आया, 5 × 3 15 ओमेगा नॉट अपॉन 4, 15 ओमेगा नॉट अपॉन 4 इंटू कॉस 10.5 ओमेगा नॉट टी, ठीक है। ट्रिकी क्वेश्चन था, आइगन फंक्शन पर बेस्ड था, जीटीक्यू में ऑलरेडी डिस्कस किया था। नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन अभी सर एक्सप्लेन करेंगे।
Coming to the next question, for LTI system having input x of t and output y of t, if output related with input as y of t is equal to x of e to the power of t, then select the correct option. System relation is given, so from this we are writing like this. So y of t is equal to x of e to the power of 3t. See in the options you can see asking for causality and time variant or time invariant. Now checking for the causal. So at causal what you are doing is we are taking at t is equal to 0. So when you put t is equal to 0, the present value, system must depends upon the present value and on the past values but not on the future values. So y of 0 is equal to x of e to the power of 0, that is equal to x of 1. For t is equal to 0 present value depending upon the future, so it is a future value we are having. So system is said to be called as non-causal. So this system is a non-causal system. So similarly we are writing for the next one called as time variant or time invariant. So TIV, time invariant. So first delay input, if you write about the delay input, so y of t that is equal to x of e to the power of t minus t naught, that's delaying the input value. So second step is delay the output value, so we can delay the output value, so y of t minus t naught, and that value is equal to x of, wherever we have t, just substituting t minus t naught, so x of e to the power of t minus t naught we are getting. If you substitute this x of e to the power of t into value is equal to e to the power of minus t naught, so this is equation 1 and this is equation 2, so 1 is not equal to 2, it is called as time variant system. So the option is which is time variant and also non-causal, so non-causal and variant. So option B is the correct answer. Okay, next question will explain with the Rohit sir.
तो लास्ट क्वेश्चन तो ये तो मतलब हर कोर्स में एक्सप्लेन करते हैं हम लोग, आरटीक्यू में भी और क्लास में भी। पूरे ट्रांसफॉर्म में एक्स टी एक्स ओमेगा पेयर होता है। सो दिस क्वेश्चन इज कम्प्लीटली बेस्ड ऑन पेयर। और पेयर अगर आपको याद हो तो कंटिन्यूअस का पूरे ट्रांसफॉर्म कैसा, नॉन पीरियोडिक और अपीरियोडिक, ठीक है। और अपीरियोडिक या फिर नॉन पीरियोडिक का पूरे ट्रांसफॉर्म कैसा, कंटिन्यूअस। तो ओवरऑल नेचर कैसा आया, कंटिन्यूअस नॉन पीरियोडिक। नॉन पीरियोडिक इज ऑल्सो नोन एज अपीरियोडिक सिग्नल, ठीक है। सो कंटिन्यूअस नॉन पीरियोडिक, तो ये किससे मैच होगा, ए से। तो ये किससे मैच हुआ, ए से। अच्छा, फिर इसके बाद इधर देखो कंटिन्यूअस का फूरियर कैसा, नॉन पीरियोडिक। और पीरियोडिक का फूरियर कैसा, डिस्क्रीट। तो कंटिन्यूअस पीरियोडिक का फूरियर कैसा, डिस्क्रीट नॉन पीरियोडिक। एंड नॉन पीरियोडिक इज ऑल्सो नोन एज अपीरियोडिक। तो डिस्क्रीट नॉन पीरियोडिक, तो डिस्क्रीट नॉन पीरियोडिक या फिर अपीरियोडिक, ठीक है। अच्छा, इधर क्या है, डिस्क्रीट नॉन पीरियोडिक। तो डिस्क्रीट का फूरियर कैसा, पीरियोडिक। और नॉन पीरियोडिक और अपीरियोडिक का फूरियर कैसा, कंटिन्यूअस। तो ये किससे मैच होगा, कंटिन्यूअस पीरियोडिक से। तो थर्ड वाला किससे मैच होगा, कंटिन्यूअस पीरियोडिक से। तो थर्ड मैच होगा बी से। तो ऑब्वियसली फोर्थ किससे मैच होगा, बी से। चेक करना है तो चेक कर लो। डिस्क्रीट पीरियोडिक का पूरे ट्रांसफॉर्म भी डिस्क्रीट पीरियोडिक होता है। तो 1 किससे मैच हुआ, ए से। 2 किससे मैच होगा, लिख भी देता हूँ। 1 मैच होगा ए से, 2 मैच होगा सी से, देन 3 मैच होगा बी से, और 4 मैच होगा डी से। ओके, सो दिस वाज द लास्ट क्वेश्चन ऑफ सिग्नल एंड सिस्टम। अब थोड़ी देर बाद नेक्स्ट सब्जेक्ट के क्वेश्चन डिस्कस किए जाएंगे।
Hello students, I am Srikar Gupta. So now I am going to give the solutions of engineering mathematics. The questions are a little easy only, the classroom questions whatever we discussed, and based on that only the repeated type of questions have come. So let us see the solutions of that. Right, see here, which of the following represents the graph? See, it is the function he is asking. It is very clearly seen from the graph that it is symmetric about y axis or not. It is symmetric about y axis. The graph is symmetry about y axis. So the graph is same about y axis. So you can say that it is an even function. So since it is symmetric about that y axis, so it is an even function, we can say that. It is even function. So even function means it is a which function it is? So option D is the correct answer for it. So this is the even function out of the given options. So that is why option D is the right answer. So the next one is that yeah, it is very simple. Let us see that x b n by vector is given and is saying that the length x transpose x. See, I will say x transpose x. So this is the length he is saying that under root of x transpose x. Na? So if you take this one, so if you are considering that this vector is x is equal to x1, x2 and x3 and so on, xn, right, transpose. If this is the x, so x transpose into x, so what it will give you is under root of x1 square plus x2 square plus x3 square and so on plus xn square, you can get it. So this is the length x transpose into x. Just doing this x transpose x, so you will be getting this is x1, x2, x3 and so on xn into, so into what you have to do here, so you have to multiply this, yes. So if you want to, if you multiply this, so this is x1, x2, x3 and so on xn. So if you multiply this, so this what you are going to get, it is x1 square plus x2 square plus and so on xn square here, right. So that is the x transpose x here, which is the length which I wrote it here the same, right. Okay. Now he is asking what is the trace of the matrix P. So P is equal to, P is given by x into x transpose, x into x transpose. So then it is of the column vector x1, x2 and so on xn is multiplied with the x1, x2, x3 and so on xn, right. So if you do this multiplication, so you are going to get an n by n matrix here, because this is going to be n cross 1 and this is going to be 1 cross n. The multiplication will give you n cross n, and this given by, see, the multiplication is x1 square. So this first row first column multiplied, you are getting x1 square. Second row second column will give you x2 square, and like that all the diagonal elements you are going to get like this. So what is the trace of this? So therefore the trace of P is equal to, this is x1 square plus x2 square plus and so on xn square, which is nothing but L square or not, because L is under root of this, so therefore it is L square. So among the given options, so the D is the correct answer. D is the correct answer for this. Okay. So D is the correct answer, L square is that, right. Hope everyone got the correct answer for this, because it's very simple question here it is. Now let's see, the one more question is given here, one more question is given. So let's see that what is that. Right. Now in this question, see the two vectors are given, the value of the quotient alpha, yes. So he is asking us to find out this alpha value here. While see the value of the expression, the value of alpha from the expression which minimizes the length of the vector E here.
So let us find out the E. So E is given by V1 minus, so I can take alpha V2, V1 minus alpha V2 here this way. So this is to be, what is that, which minimizes the length of this vector here, right? So the length of this vector is to be minimum. Under this condition you have to find out this alpha, right? For what value of alpha, the length of this vector is going to be minimum. So that length of the vector, we take it as here E bar is equal to V1 as given as I plus 2j plus 0k, 0k cap here, and this minus alpha into, so V2. So what is V2 is that it is 2I plus j plus 3k here, right? And this is going to be here 1 minus 2 alpha I cap, and then plus 2 minus alpha j cap, and then plus here 0 minus 3 alpha k cap. So this is the vector E. So now the length of the vector E, that is modulus of E bar, is equal to, so this is under root of this one is 1 minus 2 alpha whole square plus 2 minus alpha whole square, and then plus minus 3 alpha whole square, to be minimum as per the question, so this is to be minimum. So by considering that this value of this E bar, modulus of E bar is to be minimum, you need to find out the value of alpha here. So under root function is to be minimum means, so I can say square of this function, when without root, under the root function is also be minimum. But this function, if you take it, this function if you take it here, so the value of the function, the expansion of the function, you are going to get it is, that is 5, so plus 14a square minus 8a here. So this one you are going to get it. So this is to be minimum. This is to be minimum. So if this is to be minimum means, so where it will be minimum? At the stationary point. So let us find out the stationary point here. Find the stationary point here. So find the stationary point is given by dou E square by dou alpha. Dou E square by, alpha. I'm sorry, this is alpha here. So this alpha, right, square to be 0. So let us differentiate this. It is 28 alpha minus 8 is equal to 0. So from this you are going to get alpha is equal to 2 by 7. Alpha is equal to 2 by 7 you are getting. But see at this 2 by 7, when alpha is equal to 2 by 7, so there this function will be minimum. Why? Because it is the parabola. The parabola, so will be upside. So generally the parabola of this parabola will be upside here like this. So definitely it will have the minimum at the stationary point. So this is the stationary point, alpha is equal to 2 by 7, where the function is minimum. So the answer is going to be B. Option B is the right answer for this question. So now let's see this question here. So this question we can see, right? Okay. Now the rate of increase. So the rate of increase in the scalar field function in the direction of so and so. See, generally this is the vector A bar, I suppose. In this direction we have to find out the rate of change, okay, at this point P here, at this point P. So generally the rate of increase is given by the directional derivative, So the directional derivative is given by, generally we say del F bar dot A bar by modulus of A bar here. This is the formula for this. So in which direction? So in which direction means this vector V bar. So that is our A bar here. That is our A bar. So anyway A bar is given to us. Now let us find out the del F bar. So del F bar is equal to what? That is I dou F by dou X plus J dou F by dou Y plus K dou F by dou Z here. So that is here I dou F by dou X Z is nothing but YZ plus XZ plus yz, sorry, xy, xy here, xy. So this is given, and at which point he is asking? At the point of 0, 2, comma 1. At this point only he is asking. So if you put it, so it is a 2i, and then it is 0j, and then it is 0k, right? Because x is 0 over there. So therefore I take the directional derivative 2i plus 0j plus 0k dot a bar. A bar means here it is 2i plus j plus 2k by, because this is our a bar, so under root of 2 square plus 1 square plus 2 square here. So if you take the dot product, this one is 4 by, so it is of 3. So 4 by 3 will be the answer. So option B will be the right answer for this question here. Now let's see the next one is, now yes, the value of this integral here. See, this is those who attended the class here, so they can get the answer for this question very easily within 1 or 2 steps, right? So this question is, see, I can write like this. This is a z square dx plus 2xz dz, right? 2xz dz and plus 3y square dy. So I am separating this 3 square, and where y varies from 1 to 3 here. So y varies from 1 to 3, and this varies from 1 comma 2 to 2 comma 1 here. And this integral, this entire integral of this one is going to be, it is of differentiation of xz square from 1 comma 2 to 2 comma 1 here, and this one is of y cube plus 1 to 3, and this is the derivative and integration gets cancels, and this is going to be here. So 2 into 1 square minus 1 into 2 square, so 2 into 1 square minus 1 into 2 square, okay, so plus 3 cube minus 1 cube. So this is of 26 minus 2, it's going to be 24. So the answer is B here. Option B is the right answer for this question. So this is the way. See, there are some tricks and techniques. So if you know those techniques, na, you will get the answer within 1 minute maximum. You know, you need not to put your pen on the paper. So directly you can get the, if you know those tricks. Now let's come to this one. So it is a double integral actually. It's a double integral. So it's a double integral r xy dx dy he said. Now what we do is, this region I am going to divide. I am going to divide this region into 2 regions here. So I am supposing this is R1 and this is R2 suppose. So within the R1 I am going to take this. I am going to take this. This is a double integral R1 and this is a double integral R2 here. So this is what I wanted to do it. But if you take the limits now, for R1 y varies from 0 to 1, right, and x varies from where to where? X varies like here minus y to plus y. So x varies from minus y to plus y. Here x dxy dx dy here. In the same way, if you take the limits of the other region, that it varies from 1 to 2. So y varies from 1 to 2 and x varies from, so again it is this line. So x varies from y minus 2 to 2 minus y. So y minus 2 to 2 minus y, xy dx dy. It's very clearly seen now. So minus y to y, here this x dx. If you do the x dx integration with minus y to y, it's an odd function, direct integration is 0. And here also with respect to x, if you do integration, again it is an x even odd function. So the integral will be 0 here. So totally the answer you are going to get it as 0. So the answer for this question is 0 here. The next question, if you do it, see, this is again complex one. See, omega, let us write this one as 2 iota to the power of 1 by 4. Omega can be written as this. But you know, generally, so we all know that iota can be written as e to the power of I pi by 2 to the power of 1 by 4, and this is going to be 2 into e to the power of I pi by 8. 2 into e to the power of I pi by 8. Kahan hai? Option A will be the answer or not? 2 into e power I pi by 8 here. So directly you are getting the question just like that. But now this question, little bit of integration you have to do it here, right? Now this is the last question. You can see this one. So with over this contour, so this contour is a circle. This contour is a circle here, and you need to find out the integral of this. But for this, here I can write this integral as integral c z plus 2 by, can I write this one as z plus 1 whole square plus 1 dz here. Now if you want to evaluate this, so it is given by 2 pi I into sum of the residues, है ना, sum of the residues. So by CRT it is given by this. But to find the residues, let us see that how many poles are inside the given contour or not. Now the poles are given by here z plus 1 whole square plus 1 is equal to 0. So where this is very clear, it is minus 1 plus or minus iota, minus 1 plus or minus iota. So there are 2 points here, one is minus 1 plus iota and minus 1 minus iota here, and both are simple poles, here, but this is lies inside and this will be lies outside the contour, lies outside C here, lies outside C here. So another one is that here this lies inside C here. So therefore here the integral is given by 2 pi I into the residue of f of z at z is equal to minus 1 plus iota. How do you understand that this point lies inside or outside? Means just substitute this point into the given contour. Substitute this point into the given contour. What is this contour is? See that if you put it at minus 1 plus I, minus 1 plus I gets minus 1 plus 1 gets cancelled, and I minus 3 by 2 I will be the I by 2, which is less than the radius. So therefore it is inside. But when you put the minus 1 minus I, obviously it will be greater than 1, so it will be outside the contour. So therefore I am writing directly over there. But anyway, so we have to find out this residue here. Okay, so now let's find out this one. It's a 2 pi I into, so residue of this function it is, see, let's take that. Suppose if I take this function, okay, if I take this function as some phi of z by xi of z form, right? Phi of z by xi of z form is there. So as it is a simple pole, so the residue is given by phi of a by psi dash of a here. So using this formula we can write it here. So it is phi of minus 1 plus I by psi dash of minus 1 plus I. So then if you do this one, so which one you are going to get exactly is, it is of pi into 1 plus I, you get it. Pi into 1 plus I will be the answer for it here. So if you put it here, it is this minus 1 plus I. So minus 1 plus I, so it is going to be 1 plus I, right? And the psi dash means the differentiation of this one is 2 into z plus 1. So if you put minus 1, that gets cancelled, I square will be minus 1, so minus minus gets cancelled. So this way pi into 1 plus I you are going to get it. See, I will write it here. So this is phi and this is psi. So residue at is given by phi of minus 1 plus I by psi dash of minus 1 plus I. So this becomes minus I plus 2 divided by differentiation of this one is 2 into z plus 1. So that means minus 1 plus I plus 1 here, right? So if you put it plus 1 minus 1 gets cancels here, and you are going to get it is 1 plus I by 2. 1 plus I by 2. So that's what I have substituted. 2 gets cancelled. So you are going to get 2 into z, just a minute. So you are getting this here, yes. So you are writing this one you can write, it is a 2 pi I into, this one is 1 plus I by 2 here. So that's 2, this 2 gets cancels here. So this the two gets cancels here, and there one more iota will also be there here. So yes, so this iota will be there, na? So this iota will come here, and this is also iota. So this iota gets cancelled. So the answer will be pi into 1 plus I here, which is, yes, D. Option D is the right answer here. Option D is the right answer. Pi into 1 plus I. That's it. Thank you. So I hope you have done well in the examination. So because all are very regular questions, and these are all types of questions we have done in the class. Wish you all the best. Thank you.
Yeah, good evening students. I'm Srinivas, faculty of English. We have got 3 questions available here. One question based on analogy, vocabulary based, and the other one is again based on vocabulary, direct question on vocabulary, and one small passage. And these 3 questions are actually very easy. This question has nothing to do with English. It has more to do with general awareness than English. Yes, legislature and parliament are one and the same. These two are one and the same, and courts and judiciary are one and the same, right? So the legislature consists of parliament and judiciary consists of courts. So answer is C. Answer is C. This is more of a general knowledge question than English. Now look at this. I cannot support this proposal. My blank will not permit it. My consent, conscious, conscience and consensus. Now listen carefully. Conscious means to be aware of something. He is so conscious. Okay, that means he is aware of things. Conscious. Now, self-consciousness we say. Now we are left with consent. This doesn't fit the context. Consent, consensus and consent. These two are one and the same. A and D are one and the same. That means agreement. If you give consent to something, you agree to do it. The slight difference between these two, though both of them are same, is consensus is nothing but the common agreement by a group of people together. Con means together, sense and stands for think and feel. If two or more than two people think in the same lines parallelly without a difference of opinion, that's called agreement, common agreement. So answer is B. It's a vocabulary based question. Conscience is nothing but a sense of a moral sense of something right or wrong. So answer is B. My conscience, my moral sense, right? Now the third one, a passage. This carries 2 marks and this is dead easy. When I was a kid, I was partial to stories about other worlds and interplanetary travel. If somebody is biased, partial to something, he is biased, he is inclined towards it. So he was very much interested in stories about the other worlds and interplanetary travel. I used to imagine that I could just gaze off into space and be whisked into another planet. Now, you are supposed to draw the inference of this passage. Let's use elimination technique. For elimination process, what is important is finding out the keywords of the passage. And there is a golden rule we discussed repeatedly, time and again in different classes. What is the golden rule? Anything that's not said in the passage, either directly or indirectly, cannot be your answer. Now let's use elimination technique. It's second one. If you look at option B, the child in the passage read stories about planetary travels only in parts. It is child's description of what he or she likes. It teaches us that the stories are good for children. No, it is not talking about the children in general. You are talking about one gentleman who spoke of his childhood days. So it's not talking about stories that are good for children. Based on this keyword, you can eliminate option D. Now option C, it is child's description. It is not child's description because the keyword is when I was a kid. I was a kid. If a person says I was a kid, that means he is no longer a kid, he is a grown up human. Now how can you say it is child's description? It is a gentleman's recollection of what he did in the childhood. So it is not child's description. It is a gentleman's, okay, memory. So even C is wrong because he says when I was a kid, I used to imagine in the past. So that is C is wrong. Now there is a chance between A and B. Look at B. The child in the past has read stories. It's not about what he read. It is about, see, when I was a kid, I was inclined to read. It's not about what he read. He was biased in reading such books. I used to imagine that I could just gaze off. It is an adult's memory. A gentleman who has grown up. If you look at this word adult, you will be able to relate this when I was a kid properly. Answer is A. It's not about what he read. It's about I used to imagine that I could just. This is a memory. What he did earlier was a memory. It's nothing but a grown-up person's memory about what he did as a child. Right? Fine. Okay, my dear friends, good luck.
Dear students, Reasoning Aptitude, GATE 2023, Electronics Engineering, Memory Based Questions. We have 4 questions and almost similar to the classroom. Very first question, what is the smallest number which are different digits? Which digit will be added up to 45? What is the meaning of different? This all will be 999, it is not a different. So A will be wrong. When you go for D is equal, there is a 555 given. It is also not different. There is a possibility maybe B, maybe C. So when you are observing B and C, both sum is equal to 45. Sum of the 1 to 9 is equal to 45. Sum of the 1 to 9 is equal to 45. Both sum 45. But here 56 thousands. Here 57 thousands. So what is smallest number? B is the answer. Smallest number B. Just observation. And different digits. A is not different. D is not different. 555. Possibility only B and C. Here 56,789. 57,869. So smallest number is equal. B is the answer. I think all of it clear. Second question, how many rectangles in a given figure? Just common sense problem, observation. Number of rectangles. See, when you take number of rectangles, see all of you. So this will be number of rectangles. This will be 1, this will be 2, this will be 3, this will be 4. When you take one by one, there is a 4 rectangles. Second case is 2 by 2. This is one rectangle. This is the second rectangle, third rectangle, fourth rectangle. When you take 2 by 2, there is also 4 rectangles. Come to last. This is one rectangle. It is the last rectangle. So last 1 plus 1, 2 rectangles. Total how many rectangles are there? 10 rectangles. Given multiple choice. B is the answer. So 1 by 1, 4 rectangles, 2 by 2, 4 rectangles. Last rectangle, that is 1 plus 1, total 10 rectangles. Just by observation and given diagram, these are the general questions. See, after listening all the concepts, it's not a complicated. I hope all of it clear. So, it is a Venn diagram question. We have done similar questions, and also similar in the workbook is there. Just 2 diagrams. It is the intersection of 2 circles. Just you have to read that. In class of 100 students, this will be 100 students. 30 students neither like romantic movies nor comedy. So 100 minus 30, 70 members. So you have to consider only 70 members. Out of 70, so this romantic movies, twice of the number of students who like comedy. So this R is equal to 2 times of comedy. And both together 20. They want to find out how many students in the class with like romantic movies. Just applying formula, number of elements of A union B. Just by observation, there is 70 members. Let us take comedy is equal to X, romantic 2X. Just applying formula A union B. 70 is equal to X plus 2X minus 20. 90 is equal to 3X, X value 30. What is the meaning of romantic? 2X, 2 into 30, 60. We have done so many things. So I think all of it clear, even though I am writing something. So let us take, this will be 100 minus 30. 30 members, they are not interested in anything. Let us take comedy, movies, X, romantic movies, 2X, twice of that. So both together, C intersection R, both together they given 20 members. We are applying formula R union C, which is equal to number of elements of R, number of elements of C minus number of elements of C intersection R. Without formulas, you may write it directly. 70 is equal, there is only 70, 30 members, they are not interested in anything. So this will be 2X, this will be X minus 20. 90 is equal to 3X. X value will be 30 by 3, 90 by 3, 30. So this R is equal to 2X, 2 into 30, 60 members. So they are asked to find out how many students like with romantic. Given multiple choice, C is the answer. So this type of things you have done many things. So reasoning aptitude I am telling, so almost you have done in the classroom. Coming to last question. It is the paper folding. So what is the folding of that 100 centimeters, 32? So it is the like rectangle. So it is like rectangle. Let us take 100 centimeters, 32 centimeters. So we have to fold 5 times, folding 5 times. So when folding 5, each time seat is folded, the long edge aligns. Long edge will be as this with its opposite side. So long edge as this, opposite side. Folding first time, They want to find out the folded sheet is a rectangle of dimensions 100 centimeters, 1 centimeter. So we have to make it smaller side will be till 1 centimeter. The total of creases visible when sheet is unfolded. What is the meaning of unfolded? Folding first time. See, folding first time. Folding second time. Folding third time. Like that you are fold 5 times. The dimensions must be 100 by 1. Now see. So, this will be 32, this will be 100. When you are folding like this, what happened? This will be 16, 16 plus 16, first time folding, second time folding, third time folding. When you are folding first time, folding second time, folding third time, folding fourth time, folding fifth time. So 1 plus 2 plus 2 square, 2 cube, 2 power 4. How many times coming? 31 times. Suppose still if you are not interested. So going by actual method, see that? 32 dividing by 2, 16. 16 dividing by 2, 8. 8 dividing by 2, 4. 4 dividing by 2, 2. 2 dividing by 2, 1. Sum of all. What is the meaning of 1? You have to make it like this. See, when you are folding first time folding, second time folding, third time folding, we have to get the dimensions still 1 centimeter. See, finally you have to make like this. Finally you have to make it, this will be 1 centimeters, this will be 100 centimeters. So how many times? 16 plus 8, 24, 24 plus 4, 28, 28 plus 2, 30 plus 31. If you are writing directly also like geometric, nothing wrong. So according to given multiple choice, C is the answer. So these are memory based questions. So I hope reasoning aptitude, so almost we have done similar to classroom. Sometimes giving diagram, nothing to fear. See, diagram only general things. At the same time, one problem never cross 2 minutes. Thank you for all.
So good evening everyone. So let's solve some questions that were asked from the electromagnetic. The first question is, a transparent dielectric coating is applied to a glass. You can see that to eliminate the reflection of red light. The minimum thickness of the dielectric coating. So it is a very good question because it is a combination of the concept from the transmission lens. See how. Just have a basic concept. Detailed solution you can see, right? So let us say this is the D, what they are asking, and this is the glass. Let us say this is glass having eta 1, right? Let us say it has intrinsic impedance as eta 2, and let us say this is air, eta 3. Here it is air, which is eta 3. Now it is saying that there should not be any reflection. Means what? If there is no reflection, that means it should go like this. That means everything should be matched. So therefore this is the question for the perfect matching. That means obviously here is one impedance, here is another impedance, and in middle you have done the impedance matching. It is, you can treat it as quarter wave transformer, right? So for impedance matching there are two conditions. First, eta 2, it should be geometric mean between eta 1 and eta 3, right? So eta 2, it should be geometric mean, or you can say that this is your epsilon 2 is equal to root under epsilon 1 into epsilon 3. Here epsilon value 1 is air because nothing, only two medium has been given. So eta 3 you can take as epsilon 3 is air, epsilon 1 it is given as 4. So if you calculate it, what is the value you are going to get? You are going to get value as 2, right? And second, For impedance matching D, it should be equal to odd multiple of lambda by 4, isn't it? For impedance matching, right? So quarter wave transformer you can treat as, where what is lambda? Lambda is equal to lambda naught upon root of epsilon r. Lambda naught, it is given here 0.75 micrometer divided by root of epsilon r. So here is nothing but a root of 2. So when you calculate it, you will get the value as 0.53 micrometer. Correct? Now this one we have got the value of lambda. So for minimum, they are asking, if you look at the question, they are asking what is the minimum. See, minimum will happen at n equal to 0. So what will be the value of D? It will become lambda by 4. That means 0.53 divided by 4 micrometer. So if you solve it, so you will get 0.133 micrometer. So this is the answer, right? So I have told you in roughly detailed solution, you can see. Fine. So answer is how much? 0.133 micrometer. Now coming to the next question. The next question is question number 2, right? Consider narrow band signal propagating in lossless dielectric medium. So medium is how, what is the nature of the medium? It is lossless dielectric, right? Okay. Phase velocity epsilon r is given. So you know that what is phase velocity? Phase velocity is equal to omega upon beta, which is equal to omega upon omega root under epsilon r, sorry, omega upon c, right? So this is basically the value you will see, right? So but obvious, this is nothing but your, fine. So this is or you can say that, so omega beta is equal to omega root under epsilon r, correct? So therefore this is equal to sorry, this is omega upon beta is equal to omega root under mu epsilon. So this is nothing but your c upon root under mu r into epsilon r. Here mu r is given as 1, so this is c upon root of epsilon r. You can see that it is less than c, correct? So that means phase velocity is less than c. So phase velocity is less than c. So you can see that these are two options. Now what about the group velocity? Since it is a lossless dielectric medium, so Vg will be also less than c. Phase velocity, because it is a lossless medium, so if the single phase or the single frequency wave, if it is less than speed of light, multiple phase or multiple frequency signal, it will be also less than c. So which option is correct? Vp less than c and Vg less than c. Option D is correct. Correct? Okay. Now coming to the next question. Yeah, it is a good question and it is a little lengthy also. The question is given, the standing wave ratio on a 50 ohm transmission line is given as 2, right? And the first minima is, the distance between successive minima is 30 centimeter and the first minima is located at 10 centimeter from ZL. They are asking what is the value of LM and what is the value of RM. Right, now see how to solve this question. Here S is given as 2. So what is gamma? Gamma is equal to S minus 1 upon S plus 1 mod of gamma. So this is equal to 2 minus 1 upon 2 plus 1. This is 1 by 3. Correct? Okay. Next. So you have got gamma. So therefore mod of gamma is gone. Now minima. We know that 2 beta Z minima, it is equal to 2n plus 1 pi plus theta gamma. Correct? So here at n equal to 0, right? The first minima you will get, and the first minima value is where? It is Z minima is at what distance? It is given as 10 centimeter, right? Fine. Moreover, you can see that the distance between the successive minima is how much it is given? The distance between the successive minima is given as 30 centimeter. We know that for two successive minimas, this distance is how much? It is lambda by 2. So lambda by 2 is given as 30. So therefore lambda is given as 60. So 60 centimeter, right? So this is the value you are going to get. So Z minima is given as the first minima is at where? So the first minima, you can see that it is at 10 centimeter from the load end, right? Okay. So if it is the case, then just put this value. So this is your 4 pi upon lambda into Z minima is equal to pi plus theta gamma, right? So you know the value of lambda, you know the value of Z minima. So from here, if you calculate it, you will get theta gamma as minus pi by 6, isn't it? So let me check with the solution that I have done. Yes, so minus of pi by 3. So therefore, what is the value of gamma? Gamma is equal to 1 by 3 at an angle minus of pi by 3. Correct? Okay. Now this is the value you have got. Fine. Now here, what is the value of Z in? Z in is equal to Z naught, right? Okay, one more thing that you can do over here is, since gamma is known, so now what is gamma? Gamma is equal to ZL minus Z naught upon ZL plus Z naught. So from here, what is the value of ZL? It is equal to Z naught, 1 plus gamma and 1 minus gamma. So you have already got the value of gamma, correct? So when you substitute this value, you will get the value as Z naught is known, gamma is known. When you substitute it, you will get this as 67.97 at an angle minus 32.67 degree, right? Okay. Now this is the load value. That means if you look at the transmission line in the question that has been given, this is 50 ohm, which is Z naught given, and this is ZL. This ZL is how much? It is 67.97 at an angle minus 32.67 degree, right? Now it is saying that, if you look further, it is saying that it has to be replaced with a resistor and certain length Lm. This is Lm and this is Rm. So here, what should be the value of Z input impedance? So Z in it should be equal to ZL, right? So this load should be represented by this resistance and length, right? So what is the value of Z in? So we know that Z in is equal to Z naught, ZL plus JZ naught tan of beta L divided by Z naught plus JZL tan of beta L, isn't it? So here, what is the value of Z in? Z in is equal to 50 ZL, okay, so this is Rm plus J times 50 tan of beta Lm divided by Z naught is 50 plus J times of ZL is Rm tan of beta Lm, right? Now you have to put go by the options, right? After this, go through options. That means what? Go through options means you put option number A and put in this. Put Rm value. So if you look at the question, Rm value is given and L value is given. Just substitute this value and calculate it. If it is coming same as this one, Z in equal to ZL, that means if this value is coming to be 67.97 at an angle minus 32.67 degree, those options will become correct. So you have to, through the option, you just put this value, get the Z in. If the Z in value is this one, you will get the answer. So when you will solve it, I will just mark the answer. So you will get, so I am getting this option R as 105 centimeter and 25 and 20 centimeter. So this is MSQ, so I am getting answer as A and B, correct? Okay. So coming to the next question. Okay, the following circuit is representing at a lumped element. So first is correct, right? So there is no doubt about it. So first one is also correct. Even the second one is also correct. Third one is wrong. Why it is wrong? Because there should not be by 2 here. So if it is not by 2, it is correct. And coming to the fourth option, this is also wrong. Why? Because it should, there should be by 2 here. Here it should, here it should be by 2. Here it should be by 2. Here it should be by 2. Here it should be. Here, okay. So this is wrong because there should not be by 2 here. So that means here A and B are correct. So A and B is the final answer for this particular question, right? And coming to the last question. The last question is the electric field of a plane EM wave is given this one, right? So which of the following combination will give you rise to the left hand elliptical polarization, right? So first of all, what you have to do, so I will just give a rough solution. The detailed solution you can see later on. E. So first what you have to do, you have to need to put Z equal to 0 plane. Put Z is equal to 0, so you will get E is equal to C1x cos omega t AX plus, oh sorry, this is plus here, oh no, sorry, there is nothing here, oh sorry, so there is some typing error, so this is just no multiplication, right? So this is how much? So plus C1y cos of omega t plus of theta in the direction of AY, correct? Now what you have to do, if I take option A, so first put at t is equal to 0, you will get, I will show you one, later rest you can do of your own. So I will show you, or you can see the solution. So if I put t equal to 0, so cos 0, it is equal to C1x, okay. So what is the value of C1x here? So C1x is 1, so this is your AX, right? Correct? So this is the value of AX, and here plus 2 times of cos. So t equal to 0, so this is theta, this is how much? 3 pi by 2, right? So that means how much you are going to get? You are going to get the value as Ax, isn't it? Okay. Similarly, at t is equal to t by 4, okay, what is your omega t? So here omega t will be 0. Omega t will become pi by 2. So what is the value of E? It is equal to 2. No, it is 0, right? So put omega t here. This is your 2 cos pi by 2 plus 3 pi by 2. So this is coming to be 2ay, isn't it? So this is the value of 2ay. So if I plot the graph, this is x-axis, y-axis, and this is z-axis, right? So at t is equal to 0, this is Ax, so this is 1 at t is equal to 0. At t is equal to t by 4, where is the value? This is 2. That means time is increasing in this direction. So that means it is going like this. So as the time is increasing, the rotation is in this direction. Since it is elliptical, so how you will do? Left hand, the wave is propagating in plus of z direction. The wave is propagating, so plus of z, right? So I have to do left hand, but if I am doing it is not left hand, but if I put my right hand and do like this, so this is a RHEP. So this is a RHEP, but what they are asking LHEP. So that means option A is wrong. Similarly, if you do all the steps, so finally you are going to get option B as correct, option C as correct, and option D as correct, right? So you have to repeat like this: t equal to 0, t equal to t by 4. Just put the value, just take two values and see in which direction it is moving. So option B, C, D will give you the correct answer, LHEP. So these were the 5 questions of EMT. So I hope you have done very well in your examination, and I hope you will come with the flying colors. So all the best and best of luck for your career and ahead. So thank you everyone. Good night.